not a big deal. We can handle it. I don't have to think about it. What we need to do is clear. Don't you think? I don't know any other answer than yeah. And I don't need to know. Now it's your turn. Cat got your turn. I'm for is what bark and bark. It's a vacant dirt. Your regret that no one knows. Bark and bark. God, that's the last sound you ever hear. The kiss of death. I'm sorry about that. You thought this through. I don't have to think about it. 'Cause there's those who believe. What about you? When I'm older, do I do anything? I want to keep it that way. Now it's your turn. Could got your turn. I'm for is what bark and a bark is the vacant dirt. Your regret that no one knows. Bark and a bark, keep going. That's the last sound you ever hear. The kiss of death.
Popping like popcorn. It's all mine. Can you hear the bells ding dong? This is it. This is it. If I could just see your heart, how small the world. It's not that I don't want to know.
puzzles, I find the answer to something I forgot about it in 2 seconds. That's about it.
And I'm here joined by Ebonic Plague. How you doing?
I'm doing very well, Saki, because not only is this one of the first times that you and I get to do this together, but it's also during a pivotal moment where we're going to be finding out who we're sending to EVO from EU for Guilty Gear Strive. So it's going to be really, really fun. Super good matches today, especially when we take a look at the bracket a little bit later. But, you know, we got more stuff to talk about as we get through it, especially considering we do have something cool from PlayStation going on with their YouTube channel. And, you know, we're excited to show that. PlayStation Tournaments has a new YouTube specifically for esports going on. And you guys can check it out for all things esports at youtube.com/PlayStation Esports right there. You can see it just below us. And, you know, they're doubling their efforts to make sure that everybody can find all the things esports for FGC Arcade, for PlayStation Tournaments, etc.
Absolutely. And of course, with today's format, let's go ahead and check it out. I think this is probably one of the coolest formats that we can definitely go for, as it's going to be a double elimination top 8 bracket. So we had our open qualifiers that all of these competitors have been posting on Twitter and talking about. And then, of course, today's top 8, which is a double elimination and best of 5, followed by, of course, if there's any bracket resets and grand finals, well, that's definitely to be expected with how the level of caliber of these players are.
Yeah, most definitely. And they aren't just fighting for, you know, just the whole going to EVO thing, right? Everybody in this top 8 is also fighting for a couple of other things. We do have a prize pool going on here on top of that. And so we're going to see that here in just a sec. And so, obviously, first place is going to be getting that whole EVO hospitality package. I mean, just in the name, you already know it's good. But that doesn't mean everybody is just, you know, fighting for nothing after that, right? Second place is going to get $200, third through fourth, $100, fifth through eighth, $50. All pricing is valued in the U.S. So, you know, because we're on the EU show, that's going to be converted into their home currencies, of course. But obviously, the coveted first place prize right here, the EVO hospitality package, getting sent to EVO 2023, which is honestly just around the corner. Very, very important day for fighting games. It's basically the biggest event that you want to be at.
Yeah, I think whenever I speak to people about EVO, it's literally that landmark event of this is your chance to make your mark in your game's history, essentially. And with that, we've been talking a little bit about today's tournament and how it's going to go. Let's talk about the players and check out today's bracket. You might see some very familiar faces as we go ahead and check out tonight's show, which, of course, again, that whole point is to be at EVO, showing off as much as possible what they can do as well. And then, of course, let's go with our first match. We have True Devin versus Neos as our first game, followed by the legendary Oni Tiger Pop. Been hearing a lot about this Happy Chaos player versus Pollux, followed by Amato versus Armix. And then our last match for our winners, round 1, will be Jetstream versus Addiction.
Yeah. Normally when you take a look at one of these brackets, I love to kind of just like pick one person that I feel like is going to take it all the way. But in regards to this in specific, there is some heavy hitters here in general. I mean, you know, if you know fighting game scene, and especially if you know the EU fighting game scene, it's pretty broad. And you can kind of look up these players and find out that they're just so strong in their particular areas. I mean, Tiger Pop, Jetstream, Addiction, Armix, etc. Right? They've all just done so well outside of the offline events, and we're gonna be seeing that in here in just moments, honestly. And they're going to show you why they've gone through the open qualifiers and made it to this top 8 bracket here, just to find out who is going to be making it to EVO on the PlayStation Tournament's hospitality package.
Absolutely. And you know what's another thing that's really cool? Of course, shout outs to PlayStation for doing this, is you yourselves at home can also go ahead and compete and even try your chance to get to EVO. There's plenty of games as well as other games happening with that. So go to compete.playstation.com. You can go onto your desktop, on your mobile, or you can even go on your consoles as well. Listen, there is always those chances to be competing out here. You have no excuses to not try.
Yes, and we also have a thriving community for not just the competition side of everything like that, but we do have a Discord for the PlayStation tournaments. It is available and open to all. You can join the PlayStation tournaments community Discord to find regular updates on esports events, articles, videos, and meet others to improve your games. You guys can check out the hyperlink right there or scan the QR code. Make it real easy for yourself, and join the community today and learn about pretty much just everything. It's well kept. We have all the knowledge bases. You guys can just find matches if that's what you're looking for, right? Because there's not a compete.playstation.com that you can hit every single day, but you definitely want to be playing every single day because you want to show everybody how good you are.
Absolutely. And honestly, it's been really cool to see all of the FGC content in addition to all of the other esports like content that's happening between the Discord, the YouTube channel, and then of course these tournaments itself. But going back to a little bit on tonight's show, one of the things that I love talking about, especially when it comes to fighting games and what we have to show up for, is how every region is very much unique, right? And for Guilty Gear Strive, we usually tend to hear more about the NA side and then, of course, the Japan side as well. Mm-hmm. But now we get to really showcase the EU side of things, which for me, it's always a pleasure. I know that they're grinding their hearts out and really showcasing their skills that, quite frankly, they try to come over to our majors and to our events to really put their knowledge to the test. So it's going to be an exciting time to actually see it tonight online.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more, honestly, Saki. One of the things that people tend to overlook, just in any game, it's not even just Guilty Gear Strive, right, is those EU sides or things like that. Everybody's always talking about NA or Japan, and then they get mopped up at EVO by, EMEA, the region, or whatever, what have you, and they're just like, well, maybe we probably should have paid attention. Well, this is your chance to pay attention, everybody at home, because you are definitely going to see something very, very good as we get into our first match right here, right now.
Yes, indeed. And with our first player, it's going to be True Devin. This is a Zato 1 player, age 25 and from Germany. You can check out their Twitter on at True Devin LOL, as well as their Twitch, True Devin. This is going to be cool because this is Zato. This is probably one of the best characters out right now for Guilty Gear Strive that really knocks onto the meta as well. And then, of course, we can check out our next player too.
Yeah, they're going to be going up against Neos out of France right there. You guys can see the Twitter and the stream over at Neos_AZ. Neos is going to be playing Leo. This is the character that has been running amok for quite some time, has been one of the hardest characters to fight due to the back turn stance and things like that. And it definitely dishes out a lot of damage, especially against a character like Zato who has low defense, low health, right? And so it's going to be looking to, maybe being able to play around a lot of the back turn stance stuff, trying not to get knocked out as much as humanly possible. But Leo players definitely not wanting that to happen. And I know Neos is wanting to make it to EVO on that hospitality package. So there will be no mercy.
To be fair, with Leos, there's never our mercy. Leos are very special indeed. But I absolutely agree with you there as we're waiting for our first match to start up. Zato versus Leo. Leo is this character that, quite truthfully, when a player gets their hands on Leo, you are not just playing the character, you are playing the player. With Zato, it's like this methodical approach. Obviously, Eddie's a huge play into the matchup as well, because that's basically Zato's game plan is utilizing Eddie for the offensive pressure and really making you second guess on your choices. Whereas Leo's, you can either be a really safe Leo and really like methodical like we've seen in over here in NA with like Razzo, or you could be like the MFCR of Leos, which is the crazy, the wild, like, yes, we're gonna DP, yes, we're gonna go ahead and really enforce our position in our offense as well.
Yeah, Leo definitely exemplifies being able to play multiple styles like that, right? Given the strength that he has once he actually finally knocks you down, you know, he's very, very strong at the mix-up game. So being able to play either way, whether it be the slow game or just the immediate bust out, try to just overwhelm your opponent with everything you've got type game plan, one or the other, he just has the tools to make that happen, because the second you get the knockdown, it's all the same. You have to be able to react. You have to be able to guess correctly. And we're getting into the first game here. Now, the thing that is also going to be very apparent is the technical ability of Zato. This character is highly technical, is known to be one of the harder characters in the game to play, due to the fact that he is what we consider to be a puppet character if you've never really been into Guilty Gear. And so as a result of that, you know, you kind of have to manage two things at once while also finding your opponent. And so one little mishap could spell doom if you don't have complete control of everything. But if you see that complete control, oh boy, does it look beautiful.
Yeah, you mentioned it perfectly. There's two meter managements, your tension meter and the Eddie meter. And realistically, some of those ways to defeat Zato is eliminating Eddie from the field very much early on, as well as consistently. But we're going to go ahead and start in with this match and start it up right now with that backdash. Bringing out already Eddie and bringing out the drill to start up this corner pressure. And there goes that dust to try to get the burst bait. But we do get the burst instead from Devin with that from that DP.
Yeah, I mean, the burst was smartly used right there to try to keep the offensive pressure, but Neos no longer caring, recognizing that he took out Eddie and has just started to play, that offensive game we talked about. Doesn't matter what you have, and already look at True Devin's health now. The dragon punch. It was charged through the super flash, right? So it was perfect for Neos. Got the cross up after the RC, and that's gonna be the first round.
Yeah, that's what makes Leo do extremely well in this matchup, is if you're good with your movement, if you're good with trying to avoid, you can use that charge TP and really get yourself out of those very tense situations. Right now, though, with those just blocks coming in handy, but the DP getting hit by the jump, okay? And there goes with the side switch.
Yeah, I was attempting to use the blue RC to be able to get the grab through the fireball and keep the offensive pressure, but now Neo's putting himself in the corner. He's able to make it happen. Got the guard break. That's so many plus frames, forcing the burst. Otherwise, True Devin was probably going to lose the first game on this one. Yeah, it's really trying to wait for that Eddie meter right now as you've got to deal with all the projectiles. There's so much pressure.
Yeah, some of those just blocks really coming in handy for closing in on these gaps. But of course, now that Eddie meter is already back, and this is actually a great position for True Devin's going to be able to get the super wall break and full Eddie meter as well with that hard knockdown. So really, Eddie and True Devin are just in a really good position to end this second round.
I mean, and that showed right there, you called it exactly. Just being able to use Sunboy to be able to break the wall right there, causing a hard knockdown, and also restoring your Eddie gauge. It just means you can walk away from Leo and not have to worry about what he does on his own wake up. And now, I mean, look at what it's afforded to True Devin, right? It's a complete turnaround from that first round.
Was a little bit in time to get that throw tech, and now again this actually might be True Devin trying to really get that burst bait. There goes the blue RC, and we're just seeing these small pokes again. You can't really burst because you're just going to leave yourself open, and that's what Neos was trying to figure out in this position. But what an insane baits for True Devin that were both safe and so smart to avoid being pushed back into full screen.
Yeah, no, it was all the right calls right there from True Devin, right? Using the jab specifically, even though the little Eddie meter was gone, and you couldn't really mix up Neos from that, you were able to at least stop the approach. And with just like you were calling the burst just being gone, and I mean now the burst is gone for both as well here, plus the Eddie meter, Neos is looking great, just being able to push towards the corner with these fireballs, but there's the blue RC to slow down Neos. Oh, not being able to block the dust, that is overhead, you do have to block it high, and we're going to be going for a ride.
Yes, indeed. Now, this isn't a hard knockdown, but we do have that blue RC. But a good call out for the faultless defense on True Devin's side. Does not get hit, so able to recover quicker than before, and this round is going to go to True Devin with that wall break.
Yeah, using all the meter that True Devin had very, very effectively, right? Just being able to get one jab into RC and to kill, even from that range. You know, Leo's not a character with low health, right? Like, Leo is a character that can take a hit. Yes. And so being able to convert into something that's going to be able to take them down is very, very important.
There goes that dust again, really catching up. And the command grab to also come in for that. Trying to, again, bait out Neo's burst. There goes the dust again with Eddie, but this is going to be a wall break, and we're going to actually use this super to both get the Eddie meter back and the hard knockdown and just bring out Eddie. This is actually a really good way for True Devin to try again. There goes the burst to try to avoid the super, and it actually works through because it was inputted early.
Yeah, luckily the burst was right before, because normally supers in this game, they lock out the opponent's burst, right? But not the case if you have done it before. And now it's got to deal with this Eddie pressure from full screen. Yeah, it's just so difficult right there because, you know, Leo's a character who doesn't have a run, right? He has a step dash. Yep. And so he kind of has to commit when he runs forward in those situations to be able to make it to Zato. And so as a result, little Eddie is doing such a great job of being able to keep him away without being able to, you know, you set up the opponent wanting to try to jump or what have you, and it just gets super, super difficult. So we are now 2-0. This is a best of 5. So Neos is not completely out of it yet, but it's definitely a time to kind of slow down and think about what happened. How do you get around this as the Leo player, right? Zato can be such a menace in regards to that.
Absolutely. You know, you mentioned something really key there. It's that Neos has to slow down. If you noticed, especially from that first round in the first game, when those charge DPs and sort of that like aggressive approach came into play, True Devin has been really playing it back and utilizing the fact that he can control Eddie very much on that like full screen level where he can set up and create the pressure that we've been seeing, as well as actually pushing away from being hurt by those charge DPs, and then even to being very smart about the burst, calling out Neo's burst tendencies, which if you're very much new to Guilty Gear, that's something that you definitely want to learn and start thinking about as you're learning your characters, is learning those patterns of bursts and finding out when is an actual proper time to do so and going for it. Guilty Gear is one of those games that movements is everything, especially when you think about how the Roman cancels come into play.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. Honestly, it's actually super, super difficult too. So when you actually see it in these high level matches right here in, you know, PlayStation tournaments and whatnot, you can really see how much effort and practice the players have put into play. And so you can test for yourself. Really, it's not super easy trying to fight somebody, you know, you're not used to fighting, and then trying to guess their burst habits, right? Like, you can take a guess and then you might lose your turn, and then they might gain offense back, you know, because maybe you guessed incorrectly. So if you actually get somebody, there's really high reward on that. And yeah, definitely looking out for the meter, right? Especially when it becomes a match versus Zato, looking at the meter is paramount due to the fact that if Zato is without Eddie meter, he's basically lost, I'm not going to say half of his kit, but it is quite a bit, right? And so because he's lost so much pressure, so many different tools within his arsenal, you have the chance to be able to make something happen as a result. And so that's why when you saw True Devin going to a lot of those jabs and just like really small far away pokes in the second round of the first game, it was because the Eddie meter was gone, and you have to find a way to fight back without having to deal with somebody taking advantage of that.
Indeed, indeed. And with this, we're going to be going into our next game of this best of 5. Now, Dark Devin has potential to take it all with this 3-0 sweep, whereas Neos will have to try to fight back and really adjust and adapt. Had 2 games to do so, starting off this round, actually going in and getting the just block here, but that throw tech actually pushing Neos back and backing away just a little bit as True Devin closes in on that gap and gets the low, the in by hell.
Yeah, that just block was incredibly important in being able to stop a Leo pressure. And I mean, speaking of incredibly important, being able to bait out a flash kick, oh lord.
It is very much looking dicey here as True Devin's gone all the momentum, has done sort of like an empty clap, uses purple RC to back away, summons Eddie, and there we go, we're going to match point, potential match point here for True Devin.
The control is just all in Devin's favor, being able to play around just around everything. But wait, hold on, Neo's finding a way to be able to kill Little Eddie. Yeah, basically forcing the burst because Little Eddie was about to come back, so that was really, really smart burst timing. And now with the command grab to be able to get all of that meter back as well, True Devin just, the decision-making tree is immaculate.
Right, Purple RC once again, and using the invite held to back away, as well as also sort of setting up that neutral to be able to let Neos not close in, but Neos does get the side switch and actually starts the corner carry pressure. Do we get the Leo mix? Yep, there goes that 2K into the wall. No, it doesn't break. Was too late to end the combo there.
Yeah, that's one of the hardest parts about this situation, but using the burst defensively to be able to get rid of that Eddie meteor, yeah, and I mean, so it's really unfortunate that you had to use your burst so late in the round because there's a good chance you don't even get it back now, but it was pivotal in keeping yourself alive, and that's pretty much what you have to do at this point, because you're down 2-0, you don't have much of a choice anymore.
Absolutely, and just like you mentioned, Neos is definitely slowing down right now, being a little more mindful, trying to watch out for Eddie, as well as also watch out for some of the advancement that True Devin's trying to go for. Tries to go through the run in, goes for the jump, but still trying not to actually avoid or get hit by Eddie here. The blue RC to the fast cancel for that short jump. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, backdash RC, but finally blocking a dust. Wow, you can see Neos' defense trying to level up in real time. Unfortunately, the Eddie meter is back, and you were just in such a precarious position. Any hit into the wall right now may spell death, and this should be it because of the RC after the command grab. No, not even going to be required.
Wow.
It just kills.
There was no guts stopping that from killing, and with that, True Devin's going to take it 3-0 against Neos with such a very strong Zato play. Very oppressive one as well. Did not let Neos do anything with Leo, and very much taming the lion.
Yeah, no, I mean, I gotta say though, I gotta give it up to Neos for we did see adaptation in real time. We did see leveling up in real time. Unfortunately, I mean, True Devin had it like completely controlled throughout that entire thing. It wasn't even just the real time adaptation, because you know you make an adaptation, but you can't not expect your opponent to do the same thing, right? And that was exactly what happened. We saw far more command grabs just in that last round alone. Far more control of getting the Eddie meter back, right? The burst specifically right when the Eddie meter was just close enough to coming back so that it would, you know, blow them away and be able to get the bar and then start setting back up again. And Leo could no longer get in. I mean, yeah, that had to have been a masterclass in keeping Leo out as True Devin.
I definitely felt the frustration when Neos was very much trying to advance, and it was almost like as if True Devin was just playing this cat and mouse game, but at like a very close quarter. Because if you notice, every time Neos tried to advance, True Devin was ready to either jump out, either bring up the barrier where it turns into the snakes, like very much aware of what Neos was trying to do. And you know, sometimes that happens during matches where you as a player, you're so desperate to try to get that hit that it becomes easier for your opponent to really analyze and play around that and play around your frustration, where it really comes down to like you were slowing down before, but now because you're so eager, a lot of your moves are more apparent than before.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's one of those portions of competitive play that gets really, really cool, because you think about the psychology of it all and being able to start figuring out what your opponent is thinking at all times. You definitely start to smell blood in the water when there's desperation, and it's exactly as you're talking about, Saki. Like, it's like, oh, you're down 2-0, and I've only got a round left to be able to do this. You're probably gonna burst here. Oh, you're probably gonna dragon punch here. You're probably gonna do this, right? Wake up super, whatever it may be. But, you know, I mean, that's going to put True Devin ahead. And we're going to take a look at the bracket here to see who True Devin may potentially be facing. We have up next, it's going to be Oni's Tiger Pop versus Pollux. Winner of that will be facing True Devin. Then after that, it's going to be Amato versus SYG Armix. And then lastly, SYG Jetstream versus Addiction. You guys can see Neos down there. We're going to be finding out who's going to be fighting Neos as well as the time goes on. Yeah, take a look at that. There's an upper bracket. There's a lower bracket. Everyone has two chances here. So Neos could come back from that lower bracket first round loss and take the whole thing. Honestly, it's totally possible.
Yeah, this bracket is definitely a testament to like you very much can make it out. You just gotta be persistent, be very on top of like your matches. You know, that's one of those things that like even though you're put down into those loser round in the first segment of the tournament, you can still make some pretty incredible comebacks, especially with a character like Leo for sure. So definitely going to be exciting. But let's talk about Tiger Pop versus Pollux. Now, Tiger Pop is, I think, one of the most well-known players that I've seen out of the EU when it comes to really coming out for Guilty Gear Strive. 21 years old from the United Kingdom. You can check out their Twitter at wax_tiger_pop, as well as their Twitch, tiger_pop. Happy Chaos. You know we were gonna see one in the road to Evo, so definitely no surprise there.
No, not at all. But Tiger Pop does have a bit of a roadblock in the way in their opponent right here, Pollux. So now Pollux out here playing Milia, the mix-up queen out of Portugal. So Pollux is one of those people that we don't get to see too often, right? Unless it was for one of these types of events. And now we get to kind of see. So everybody's, talking about Tiger Pop on Twitter. Everybody's talking about Tiger Pop because, they've had such a strong history in terms of W's within the offline scene and, other events online and whatnot. But Pollux could be bringing the upset because, that's one of those things where you have to be ready for everybody. There's no... When you go to Evo, you're not just going to be facing the same people. Everyone is in contention for being able to take you out.
Absolutely, and everyone plays differently. So one thing's about knowing matchup, another thing is about understanding who you're playing against. Now, again, Happy Chaos versus Milia. It's a very interesting because Milia can definitely go in, right? Like she has the mix-up and she has the pressure. It just all depends on how ready you are for it. I definitely get mixed every time I have to fight against Amelia.
Yeah. I mean, so specifically, another thing too on top of that is the movement, right? And so one thing that you're super, super worried about when playing against Happy Chaos is the fact that, he has a gun, right? Like, that's just the truth. And so, because he has it, he can just full screen snipe you. And one thing that's great about Milia is she's one of the fastest characters in the entire game. So with that being the case, she does have the ability to get around gunshots unless, of course, Happy Chaos is in steady aim and has you cursed. So that's kind of the game plan here. Is the first thing you have to do is not try to get stuck into curse and then be able to get around it from there. But already recognizing the block string was not real, goes for the throw, and it's mix-up time, baby!
Oh, we are definitely already mixing there for Tiger Pop, bringing out the clone. But like you mentioned, there goes that curse where now Happy Chaos can pretty much shoot happily, brings out another curse from the full screen, does get hit by the overdrive due to the fact that he could not put back the gun, and now Pollux actually not going to be able to wall break. Wasn't too confident in it, but gets hit by the dust, going for the go burst this time on that last attempt, and actually slows it down to try to catch Tiger Pop off guard.
But then finally the roll into gunshot, which is a cross-up. Yeah, I mean, there are contentions if you're ready for it. You do have contingencies, right? But the problem is being ready for it is so hard because of how fast that mix-up actually is. Using all that focus meter, using all the bullets is able to stop you from jumping out on top of that. I mean, Tiger Pop's got the control right now, but we did see the control before. Pollux did find a way out, and nice block on the overhead here. Oh, but you tried to throw, and you're going to get wall splatted for it, and now you're going to have to deal with this mix-up chain over and over again. How many times can you block correctly?
Okay, does try to get out, but Tiger Pop responds with the air grab, calling out Pollux's attempt to jump. Now, because of that curse, there goes the bullet for a perfect, those 7 golden letters, and that's just the mental damage that Happy Chaos can really give to you. Because if you think Milia can mix, so can Happy Chaos, especially with those wall splats.
Yeah, and I mean, that's kind of what we were talking about at the very beginning, right? Like, you set up the curse, you set up steady aim, and the gunshots become much more accurate. So, despite the fact that Milia is one of the fastest characters, you're so hard pressed to be able to get away from these gunshots at that point.
Absolutely. And right now, Curse is once again back out. Those 2Ks, 2Ds really coming in clutch as we try to get Pollux back into that corner, but the YRC to prevent the pressure and opening up Pollux once again goes for the cross-up, but still able to get Pollux off guard, and there you have it, already taking this first round.
Yeah, frame trap sweep is one of the best starters that Happy Chaos could ask for while he's got resources, so I don't care how much health you had. I don't care if you're not Milia, right? Like, with more health pool, you were gonna die from that. But
One
yeah,
thing that
first
I'm
back
loving from
available.
Tiger Pop, one thing I'm loving from Tiger Pop is the fact that he's calling out Pollux's full-on jump attempts, like not letting any air movement happening there.
Ooh, but notice that, okay, I was going to say that the bullets were completely gone, but Tiger Pop also recognizing that he's going to use Deus Ex Machina to not only break the wall and get a hard knockdown, but also gets the full reload off the overdrive.
Ooh, go burst again from
Gets the second one.
Pollux.
Full conversion too. Should be a wall situation. And now both of these characters, they don't want to try to break the wall. They want to put you in a bad situation. But that's the second time that Tiger Pop has just completely gotten out of the wall slump and was able to turn it around in their favor. And I mean, excuse me, the wall slump didn't happen there, but still was able to get out of the mix-up potential.
Yeah, it was almost as if like Tiger Pop was not afraid of all of that stack of meter. It's actually quite cool to see a player just not, like, pretty much like, I know my game plan, I'm just gonna enact it. Just because you have all of that meter doesn't mean you're gonna get away with it. And right now we're gonna go into the Deus Ex Machina for the hard knockdown as well as the wall shatter. And this is a lot of damage for Pollux to be in a health deficit position right now.
Yeah, I mean, Milia is a character, she just does not have a lot of health as a balancing way to deal with the mix-up potential, right? But the problem with that is, Happy Chaos is a character that actually can chip you out very, very well, you know, that the gunshots are no joke, man.
What a just walk as well
no.
to avoid the pushback. And there goes that burst, almost not hitting, but thankfully was able to reach those outer hitboxes. And here we go, tries to dash in twice in the air, gets the overhead, brings out the trap there, but still those just blocks not fully helping Tiger Pop as much as he'd like. Oh, but missing out on the dust.
Just a little bit too early, like you said, unfortunate. Now, but the 6P, the burst is available. Not gonna be able to burst off of this. Trying to set up, oh, but no RC off the air card, that's very interesting.
Yeah, and oh, again, still a lot of health for Pollux to work with. This can be chip potential as well as Tiger Pop has burst, but
Ooh,
again,
far slash.
holding on to it. Yeah, that far slash able to reach it out.
Yeah, that's exactly what Pollux needed to slow down the bleeding. Because you gotta remember, I mean, Tiger Pop is currently on set point right now, and oh, that is the best starter. Watch the damage,
Yep.
watch the corner carry, watch the resource gain. Oh, just barely missed the steady shot though. That would have been over half life into wall break. Oh, wall slump. Yeah, this is just better.
Yeah,
now this is
because
gonna put
Pollux
him into
has
a
the
one-touch
burst.
situation.
Yeah, Pollux would have had to use that burst there if there was like any block strings, but just dash up and grab, and there you have it. Tiger Pop taking it 3-0 over Pollux with a very dominant Happy Chaos.
Yeah, no, I mean, this is one of the things that we talked about in regards to Tiger Pop, right? It has such a dominant offline presence. You know, one of the stronger players that a lot of people talk about just in regards to just the game in general, right? Like throughout the world. And well, you saw it right there. Tiger Pop, just a mastery of the character, mastery of the game, and moving on 3-0 over Pollux. It's definitely one of the people to look out for sure.
Yeah, I really like that Tiger Pop was, because like that's one of the things about Milia, and I think that when you sort of get introduced to the character, you'll find that her movement on the ground is still very solid, but her air movement is probably one of the best in the game. And so when you see this character take advantage of her airspace, essentially, it can be really overwhelming. But Tiger Pop just did not let Pollux do any of that. And what's crazy too is that it wasn't just in like a full screen potential, it was also in like these corner situations where usually a player will just kind of like, let me hold my block button and let me just take everything and then I'll wait for my turn to press, or I'll try to press when I feel like the most comfortable. Tiger Pop instead was able to escape situation after situation in the corner, where most Milias are not comfortable in those situations when they see that happen.
Yeah, you especially mentioned it really early on in the set too, with the being able to stop the air momentum from Pollux. We saw a lot of like jump punch and things like that, not just the gunshots, right? And that's pivotal in being able to deal with the character, because if she gets away from you, that's just more chances for her to scheme and be able to get towards you in terms of knocking you down and putting you up in almost unreactable situations, right? You never want that. You never want to be knocked down with Amelia. So, I mean, that's just one of those reasons that it was able to be taken right there by Tiger Pop. And, you know, moving on, we do have one of our matches set up, but the rest of the bracket does have to be figured out right now. So we're going to see True Devin versus Tiger Pop to be able to figure out who makes it to that upper bracket finals. But we still have to determine the rest of it. Amato versus Armix is going to be up next, and after that it's going to be Jetstream versus Addiction.
I'm really excited to see Amato versus Armix, because that's going to be Baiken versus Ram. And hopefully, right, because there are some secondaries to kind of keep in mind. But if they are going to go for their mains, Baiken is a character that was very much like the center of the Guilty Gear Strive meta for, I want to say, when the second to last changes came into play, and then has kind of reverted back to being very silent, because again, we're all focused on Happy Chaos. We're all focused on Zato even. So this is going to be very interesting to see a Baiken come out here and really show off. And this is going to be Amato Antonino from Italy, age 19. And it has a Twitter at Baiken_. Love that. That's awesome.
I think it's actually 2 underscores. It might be 2 underscores. It's always hard to tell because they blend together. But yeah, no, I mean, like there's a clear love of the character if you're willing to name your Twitter after them, right?
Absolutely. Let's check out the next player, which is Armix.
Yeah, Armix right there, just going to be most likely on the Ramlethal. Now, one of the things about Armix, though, is does have a pocket Baiken. And so when you run into somebody who plays your character, you may not be able to get them with the trickery that a lot of other people, you know, don't practice against because they're like, well, you know, this is something I would do to somebody, so I know how to deal with this, because if I didn't, I would be a fool. And so, you know, Armix is another person who actually has done exceptionally well for themselves offline. You know, at the previous Evo for 2022 got 33rd place out of a ton of players, which is just an absolutely ridiculous placing. And definitely looking for, you know, Evo 2023 to change that, and, you know, could do it on the PlayStation Care Package as well. But yeah, so it's going to be Amato versus Armix, and this is most likely the matchup we're going to be seeing, but I wonder if Armix could decide to mirror match. I'm not sure.
There's plenty of games to work with, right? It is a best of 5. That's the good thing comparative, but it looks like it is going to be the Baiken versus the Ramlethal. And this is going to be a very explosive match, because both of these players hurt like a lot when it comes to their damage. Yeah. And one of them very good in the corner, especially with those swords. But here we go. We're just going to go ahead and skip those intros and get right into it, as both these players already feeling each other out in this first round.
Yeah, and I mean, I think it's a very important thing that you mentioned, specifically like the damage output. One thing that Amato has in that regard is that given that Amato is playing Baiken, her guts at the very end of her life bar are going to be a lot higher than that of Ramlethal, so she might be able to survive something that could be pivotal. Although with this amount of life right now, maybe not so much.
Ooh, yeah, and there you have it with that far slash, taking it for this first round. That's another thing that Ramlethal has really good, is that special air move. It really covers like her whole hitbox and really catches you off guard. Like there, once again.
Yeah, I mean, it is a hard knockdown too on top of that, so she just gets to run the mix-up game plan, and luckily for Amato got out, but Armix fully controlling the space.
Okay, using the red RC to actually move forward, even though not going to get real value. There goes that pressure and closing the distance. Swords are once again out. And that 6P gorgeously catching that anti-air and just going for the grab, calling out Amato's parry.
I mean, not only did the 6P gorgeously call out the air-to-air, or the jump attempt, but was a full conversion off of it too into the Rekka series, into that forced the hard knockdown that made that throw happen. I mean, Armix, full control of the match. It felt like Amato, outside of being able to get away the one time, kind of had nothing else going.
But luckily was able to get this parry and actually put a huge amount of damage now get stuck in this corner, tries to go for the jump slash, but bursts early. But there goes this counter hit here from Amato from the Rekka, and getting the dust to go ahead for the full setup. And we're going to go for that overhead to try to get the wall break. Now this is a short recovery, blue RC, but Amato not able to get going. Does get the side switch, but gets hit by the yellow RC. And right now, Armix is just trying to play the recovery game right here. As Amato goes in, gets the jump slash, but the, oh my gosh, the parry actually calling out the attempt from Armix.
So Armix attempted to YRC there, but ended up getting blue RC because the block stun was over. And so as a result, Amato got to see what was going on, and rather than get stuck in block stun and then go for the counters. So I mean, that was just really unfortunate for Armix, really fortuitous for Amato. And wow, what a just defend on the sword too. The dash block is very important. Okay. Alvados. Gonna get
This
the hard
is
knockdown.
a
Yeah,
lot
I mean,
of damage.
there's just no health left. Oh, but the parry!
Pushing back might be what is needed. Both purple RCs, but we do get a go first for Amato and tries to cancel early to catch the overhead. We do have it though with the fast red RC and able to get the wall. No, actually going for the slower option.
Yeah, a little unfortunate. Didn't go for the follow-up to break the wall right there. Probably wanted a little bit more damage. That might have been an overzealous move right there from Amato, because that would have been a guaranteed wall break.
Yeah, I think it should have been like a far slash if I'm not mistaken, and that would have definitely guaranteed that wall break. But we do have the tatami mat. There goes that counter hit. Tried to bait out the burst, but unfortunately, you don't want to back away from Ram. You definitely want to keep that pressure going. Okay.
Oh yeah, getting
Burst
air
early.
hit Kabari is very, very important because you actually get a ton of damage off of that. But wow, the far slash counter hit. Ooh, drop on the, I think that was supposed to be Yozansen. Another Kabari to be able to play the zoning game. And yeah, I mean, he's got the meters, gonna be able to push forward. Amato completely turning this around.
Oh, there goes that 6P. Once again, being able to convert off of it and calling out as an anti-air from the Rekka. And there we go, bringing out the sword and actually applying this pressure. Gonna go for the short overdrive here. Be able to get the hard knockdown. And drifting our red RC downwards. I think that was an attempt to call out the burst, but Amato delayed it just a slight.
Yeah, sometimes that slight delay is all you need, but unfortunately it was not enough as Armix was able to make the comeback despite the burst connecting, and now it is 2-0 for Armix. But I don't know, I gotta say, we're seeing a lot of signs of life right here from Amato. It's I'm no longer
see the
feeling
adjustment.
this is the Armix show.
Yeah, I really see the adjustments here from Amato. Like, they're like, even though it's one of those situations where the score's not telling the full story right now, and this could be a game for Amato with the adjustments that he's been making.
Well, I mean, you want to talk about adjustments right there. Using the 2H specifically to get under the air special from Armix. Unfortunately, the air overdrive is not going to work out on this one, but I mean, that at least got you out of the corner for the moment. Unfortunately, you got to deal with the ram pressure. Yeah, the 2K after swords. There's a bit of a rock, paper, scissors game there that you have to deal with, and it's not getting figured out.
Yeah, these strike throw situations definitely catching Amato off guard. Now, like you mentioned, those guts coming into play because of the low health, but the 6P because of the backward hitbox of the Yotsen.
I gotta say, the 6Ps from Armix have just been so well, but they've earned us again. We just can't talk about it without it happening at this point. I mean, the 6Ps on point, stopping the air movement, and I mean, that's one of the strongest points for Viking, so being able to shut it down, you're looking at the reason why Armix is currently looking to be on set point here. Maybe finishing it off.
Oh, this is perfect for Armix. Wow, what a dominance on that last round here for that perfect. Just very much calling out every single move that Amato was just trying to make, even calling out the burst. Notice those hits were very much far away so that we can really make those hits count at the end. And with that, Armix is going to take it 3-0 against Amato. Listen, that was still a really good, like the last game or so was definitely a good shot from Amato, as there was some really good adjustments. Sometimes that 6P though from Ram really makes the difference.
Yeah, I mean, it again kind of happened similar to the Tiger Pot match, right? Like, where we were seeing the adjustments happening in real time, and then Amato was starting to look good again, but then Armix was like, okay, well, I can adjust to that on the fly as well, you know? There's just because you made an adjustment doesn't mean that it's over for me, right? When you get to a certain level of the game, if your opponent can make one adjustment and that's the end of your game plan, there's a problem there, right? Armix, not trying to show that there's a problem whatsoever with their game plan, being able to adjust on the fly on top of the opponent's adjustment, being able to take it 3-0, we talked about there being some serious heavy hitters today, and well, we're seeing it in real time.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more there. I mean, some of those corner positions were definitely not comfortable, even for me, as just like, there was one moment where Armix was just doing, I believe it was 2P, and then going for the grab and really mixing Amato in the corner with just those strike throws. It was very much a tense situation. But we are going to go ahead and check out the bracket with some of the updates, as well as we start checking out our last winners round 1 match. So of course we just finished watching Amato versus SYG Armix. Armix is moving forward, and we'll be waiting on the winner of SYG Jetstream versus Addiction. And of course, in our other semifinals match, we have True Devin versus Tiger Bob. And then down below, we have Pollux and Neos that are duking it out down below on the lower side of the bracket, and Amato waiting for the loser of Jetstream versus Addiction. This is a very, very tough bracket and very strong player bracket. I'm definitely seeing a lot of bloodshed here with how everybody's playing today. They're playing all good. It's just someone has to go home at the end of the day.
Yeah, and I mean, this match upcoming here in particular, I gotta say, is also kind of a barn burner, because we have 2 household names, I would personally say, within Guilty Gear Strive, right? And so Jetstream is considered to be one of the stronger Nagoriyuki players, just in general, right? This isn't even like oh, specifically in Italy they're one of the stronger Nagoriyuki players. No, this is a Nagoriyuki player that you have to look out in terms of any competition, period, right? If they show up, and you're gonna see that, and you can see it on their Twitch stream. You can check their Twitter and whatnot, but this is one of the people to look out for.
Indeed. And then our second player is going to be Addiction, and this is another Milia from Spain, 22 years old. You can check out their Twitch as well, twitch.tv/Addiction. This is going to be, I think the last time I saw this match that was very much well talked about was, I believe, one of the Arc Revo qualifiers in Japan, if I'm not mistaken, where a lot of discussion was just how much of the pressure that Milia can have versus Nagoriyuki, that is just waiting for that very, very intense moment to really dish out. And now, again, these are 2 characters, too, that while Milia is someone that's very good in the mix-up as well as movement game, Nagoriyuki is the one that has the damage out of the 2.
Oh yeah, oh absolutely. He's also got what we like to call the fly swatter in 2H, which is one of the strongest just anti-Milia moves in the entire game once he gets to a high enough blood level, because that move becomes just a half-screen laser beam that just says you are no longer allowed to jump. Please leave this airspace. But like, okay, all right, okay. So this is actually something I want to talk about. This is something I'm excited to talk about, because Gold Lewis is a set play character. He doesn't look like a set play character, but this is definitely a set play character. He tells you you're no longer allowed to play the game. He does immense amounts of chip damage. Milia is a character with not a lot of health, and this boy deals damage. He eats his Wheaties in the morning. He goes to the gym every day. He doesn't skip clavicle day even. He is going to dish damage out. And also, the Behemoth Typhoons are really, really strong at anti-airing. He's got one of the 6 Ps that allow for being able to stop Milia as well. There is a lot of ways you have to be careful when fighting this character as Milia. I cannot stress that enough.
I do like the usage of that rose, very closer to the ground than usual from what we see from Milia's. And actually backing off just a little bit, gets the 6P off of the jump attempt from Jetstream, but there goes the purple RC into the burst to stop that pressure, and Drone is out. Probably one of the best buffed projectiles in the game, I do say, just for the fact that it stays on stream. And here you go, going forward, getting the dash cancel, tried to bait out the burst, but that is going to cost Jetstream on that attempt.
Yeah, that might have been a bit overzealous. I would agree with you, Saki, as now we're seeing kind of what's going on. And this is the mix-up potential we were talking about the last time we saw Amelia, right? You know, now actually getting a chance to show it off. You know, there's no gunshots happening. Using the Mirage to be able to get around the drone. Perfectly timed, but oh no. Here comes Gold Lewis, and you're going to have to learn to block today.
Oh
now,
my gosh, there goes the purple RC! And
oh god!
No blocking today. We just open up with our coffin.
I mean, that's the problem, though, is every single Behemoth Typhoon is a guard break, right? So there's so much block stun that you just have to deal with the next one. And on top of that, because it has guard break properties, you are not allowed to YRC it. You cannot guard cancel out. You just have to deal with it.
You know what's another thing too, Ebonic, is the fact that Jetstream only needs to hit you once. Look how many times Addiction has hit Jetstream. Multiple times! And even with this overdrive, we'll have to hit a couple more times before getting any form of momentum. And look, there we go, Jetstream coming in, starting that corner pressure. The 6 speed though, able to stop it just in time. Addiction adapting right there.
Yeah, recognizing that was do or die, recognizing exactly what Jetstream might want to go towards. And that's actually a Gold Lewis specific decision to 6B right there, right? Because that calls out a lot of things that Gold Lewis can do from that range. And so it's just really smart. Shows that there's matchup knowledge here, which, I mean, Gold Lewis is not a super popular character. You need that matchup knowledge.
Oh, absolutely. Addiction looking really solid. However, that burst is going to push Addiction in the corner. There goes that air to air, and actually able to get the 2D to open up Jetstream, and this is gonna hurt a lot. Look at all that health that Milia is just a glass cannon right now, bringing out the drone. Jetstream trying to catch the air to air, but getting counter hit in that attempt.
That important counter hit right there, but the YRC comes out trying to change things, going for the overhead. No dice though. Addiction is getting around it. Oh, there's the air to air. Using the capital to fake the cross up right there, but nice block from Jetstream, getting the 2P counter hit into full conversion on that one. And thanks to it being a counter hit, was able to actually delay the 2P and see that it hit before getting the Typhoon, because otherwise that would have not have been a true combo.
Yeah, that's one of those things, I would say, like more healthier balances that came later on, is that some of those 2Ks, 2Ps, they're not exactly a full-on counter hit, but they slow down just enough that you could do some of those follow-ups.
Yeah, sometimes you just want to hit those buttons to try and like stop the opponent's movement, right? Catch them off guard. But here's a wall break on this one, and again, you know, interestingly enough, oh no, you have to block here. There's just no choice.
And what's crazy is it's a mix-up in of itself. And look at these attempts, and this is pretty much over for Addiction in this round. Just those 3 solid Behemoth Typhoon hits, and all that damage is just there.
Yeah, normally where Milia is so fast, so hard to deal with, right, is actually kind of Gold Lewis's wheelhouse. The Behemoth Typhoons exude that exact area, and because of that, you have to worry about getting counter hit by a Behemoth Typhoon in the mid-range of the screen where you're normally thinking you're safe. I mean, Addiction now getting the knockdown. Oh no! What did you press? It was throw? You tried to throw and you died for it. Jetstream on that one. 2-0.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, that overdrive also, the drones is based on the level of his meter, his secondary meter. So that extra drone came in really nicely for the final hit.
Yep, yeah, it's based off the security level, which you can see on the top of the meter, which enhances some of his specials. It doesn't enhance the Behemoth Typhoon, but it enhances things like the Gatling gun and the drone on top of, well, I mean, hey, you saw it right there. And, you know, it just changes things quite a bit, but the double overhead here from Addiction. So the security level getting used on the drone, which is forcing, Addiction to jump out, which ended up causing Addiction to jump themselves into the corner. And as a result, you might have to deal with some serious pressure.
It does look like Addiction's able to get out and actually conquer the corner themselves. A very delayed Rose and able to actually get the hit in. Purple RC to do the overhead and then go for the setup on the throw. And a very nice round there. I really like that. That was actually catching Jetstream off guard a couple of times with some of those slight delays.
Yeah, the Rose Capel is super good at being able to catch the attempted anti-airs, right? Because it delays your air movement. And I mean, Addiction has caught Jetstream trying to anti-air, to throw numerous times, just using Capel over and over again. It's just incredible awareness. And I mean, you look at what it's affording. Got the cross up right here, trying to go for it. It catches the burst, has the overdrive on this one, so I feel like this is guaranteed. No, drops it.
Oh, the defense right now from Jetstream, but gets opened up again from Capel. Just looking super solid there from an Addiction. Still getting the perfect too, which is very much hard against a character like Code Lewis that has a lot of guts.
No, I mean, we finally got to see what you could consider to be a Millia round. Sometimes that just happens to you, right? Millia just runs all over you, and you're just like, well, I just kind of got Millia'd, you know?
Absolutely. That can happen quite a bit, especially with how fast-paced Guilty Gear is going. But we do get this counter hit that's actually a great pickup, as Addiction was actually trying to get out of the corner from that drone. And now we'll be able to get the cross up. I love that. That was actually super smart, really making Jetstream guess. And I think this is going to completely lift.
It's okay. It's fine.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's one of the nice parts about the air dash is you're going to be able to block in time, because that 720 super is just slow enough. Going to go for the RC to try and get around the burst possibility. But honestly, Jetstream would have been kind of a fool to have burst there, because that would have meant like not getting the burst back for a very long time. Oh no! Look at the damage off the close slash. That could have been way more damage, but Jetstream was not aware. Had already pressed the sweep button, right? Oh god. Are you dead?
No.
Oh, okay.
Dropping the last hit, but you're definitely dead now.
I love that we have to ask the question, like, oh, they got hit by a straight behemoth counter hit? Are they just dead? Like...
It hurts that much. Like, even as someone that, like, plays Anji, I have guts, and it still hurts. I can't imagine for a character like Millia that just breaks because of that move.
Well, I mean, you don't have to worry about breaking when you have the offensive pressure going, using the meter to great effectiveness. You know, double air dash has been the bane of Jetstream's existence. I feel like Addiction has pretty much hit every single double air dash mix-up.
Ooh, that
and
blue
how even catches the air-to-air.
Good try.
Yeah. Another situation right here. A lot of meter goes for the burst. Yeah, recognizing that has not fared too well in the corner here. Oh, tried the 6P again, and the Capel just stopping. There's the chip damage off the Lush Shaker, and that's going to make it 2-2. This is the closest match we've had so far. And I mean, hey, we said it was going to be a barn burner.
Yeah, we really did. I like, though, that this has been the back and forth between these two players. Definitely showcasing, like, kind of where we were worried about before, right? That this could have been a very good position for Jetstream as far as matchup on paper. But right now, both players are really duking it out and really trying to call each other's habits. And there goes this purple RC. Gets the grab off of the recovery off of landing.
Oh, and then the trick mix-up right here with the Behemoth Typhoons. Remember, some of those can be high or low. You can mix up the Behemoth Typhoons. You really do got to block them. And with the drone on top of you, I mean, it's about the same as the Millia situation right here, right? No burst available for Jetstream. That's going to finish it off. And now, set point here for Addiction.
Indeed, indeed. Jetstream having to make this round come back. There goes this counter hit. Very deep jump-in counter hit as well. Only able to get so much off of it. And this is just his patience right now from Jetstream trying to wait for the forward advancement, the clash, but no way to actually convert off of it. Lush Shaker going through and canceling early. And it's just this attempt to try to catch either the air-to-air or anti-airs. But that fast RC off of Haircar actually working very much in the favor of Addiction. And now starting to get hit by that YRC here. Still stuck in this corner.
YRC can only save you from so much. Same thing with the Gold Burst. He's going to force the blocking from by doing lasers. Went for the low this time. Last time it was an overhead. Ooh, tried the tricky mix-up right there, because that's normally a low, but you can't normally expect it. Hey, you got a blue BRC. Got the fuzzy overhead, yeah! Oh, the mix-ups are all coming out right now. Unfortunately, the wall break is not going to kill. Addiction actually has the burst. This is not a terrible position for Addiction at all. In fact, I'd say it's really good.
Oh, there goes this
okay,
YRC, especially. Oh my gosh.
Oh, final game, final round. Yeah, you know, I should have noticed the 50 meter, but I didn't. Yeah, here it is. The close slash coming in. There it is. Yeah. A burst required right there from Addiction, or was going to lose about 75% of that life total.
Back to Throw Tech, actually doing really good for Jetstream. Now an Addiction in this corner, and this could be it right here. And it is as Jetstream takes it with his own perfect and taking it home, or rather taking it to the next round here against Addiction 3-2.
I gotta say, it may have been a big, unfortunate decision to try to use Capel and Turbofall to be able to go into the corner right there, just because you wanted to get around the drone, because you then put yourself into the corner versus Gold Lewis with meter. No. So you were running into a situation of just possible death if you could not find a way out, and that may have been the death sentence right there for Addiction, unfortunately.
Yeah, we kind of talked about this, or we covered this a little bit. It was actually with the first match with Devin and Neos. Sometimes as a competitor, you have to have this like really strong mental stack, right? You're in this like last round, you just brought it back. There is like, this is your chance to really show that you have made it and that you're able to close out this game. And sometimes you're so eager to do that your opponent's just ready for everything. And that's something that I think kind of played into part here, is that Addiction was very much ready to do the game plan that has been doing very well in these last matches, but Jetstream was just that one player ahead of the game and ready to go, and really made it count too, because if you notice, it was a perfect, it was a very, very big damaging round for them.
Yeah, no, definitely. I feel like you hit the nail on the head. That was just straight up like, it was almost conditioning, right? Because they had done such a good job of jumping around Addiction did such a good job of jumping around the drone and whatnot, that eventually you start to notice the pattern. Oh, you're gonna jump, you're gonna Capel, Turbofall, or Turbofall Capel, right? You're trying to get around this. But if I do this right in this specific airspace, you'll put yourself directly in the corner. I'm going to meet you there. You can jump over my drone all you want. I'm fine with that. And during the last round, it was the most important time to do so.
And that's the glory of best of 5, right? There's a lot of games that you can work around with. And if you notice, it was always the final round. And that's where like closing out games came really important. But with that being said, we do have our winner's semi, so let's take a look at this bracket, as we do have some updates from the lower side as well. We have True Devin versus Oni Tiger Pop here in the winner's semis as our first match. The second one will be this is a team kill. This is gonna hurt a little bit. This is gonna be SYG Armix versus SYG Jetstream. And then down below, we do have the update that Pollux has won over Neos 3-2, so we'll be moving forward. And then it will be Addiction versus Amato. It's crazy how both Milias are now in the lower side of the bracket, and there's a potential chance that they have to go at each other.
Yeah, and you know what else is crazy, Saki, is that anybody and everybody can get into this action at any time, any day, by going to compete.playstation.com, because you can set up your PlayStation to be able to get into any of these events, to be able to get into, one of these things. And the Road to EVO may be happening right now for Guilty Gear Strive, but there is more Road to EVO action happening for other games as well, and you guys can check that out at compete.playstation.com. You can be a part of all this. You can get on one of these broadcasts, and you can show the world your stuff. You can show the world you are the best.
Definitely. And what better way? It's pretty much all you have to do is just play in those open qualifiers, qualify, and you're already on stream here with us. So definitely a great time indeed. Now, let's talk a little bit about these next matches. So obviously we have Tiger Pop, right? And then we saw such a strong performance from True Devin, which quite frankly, I think this matchup we see a lot often from the majors that we've recently been. This is one of those matchups that tends to come up as, again, Zato being this really strong character in the meta, and Happy Chaos as well, still a very strong character too.
Yeah, and I mean, especially like you see it pretty often actually. This matchup in particular, within the North America versus EMEA, I guess I'll say, this matchup comes up pretty often with Zato versus Happy Chaos. And one of the interesting parts about it is that your control of Eddie as the Zato player has to be immaculate due to the fact that
Mm-hmm.
Tiger Pop does have the ability to just kind of snipe Eddie out with the gunshot, right? Can set up the clone, can start to try to curse you and whatnot. Or on the opposite side, Zato can use a pose, the little wall that Eddie sets up where he puts his hands up in the air, that actually can take the gunshots for you, and you have a chance to approach and get towards the Happy Chaos.
Absolutely. I think this is it's like, I would say, probably one of those even matchups that really depends on how perfect you play. Like, you have to play really perfect as Zato, whereas Happy Chaos, you do have to play this perfect manner too, because you're trying to eliminate the half of Zato as well.
Yep, well, first game right here, Oni Tiger Pop versus True Devin. This is to determine who gets into winners finals on this one. And we're already seeing it right now. So Little Eddie just making the comeback. Nice fight out right there. And was able to block the roll mix up.
I really like those backdash attempts, but however, Tiger Pop actually catching it off True Devin off guard and able to get that counter hit. And this is actually a perfect opportunity, as with Curse expiring, the backdash blue RC though, able to stop this Tiger Pop pressure on the offense.
Yeah, but I mean, right back into it, regardless of the backdash to RC. Unfortunately, just not enough to keep the pressure going. The SX Machi's going to connect. No wall break, so not a kill. There is a chance here.
Very well timed. Very well timed YRC there. And actually able to maybe potentially make this comeback. Does have burst, so at least that is a resource. There goes this counter hit though, and the 6P calling out Tiger Pop and able to convert off of the anti-air.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things that you have to be able to do, is be able to fight without Eddie is very, very important as a Zato player, right? Your whole game plan cannot be the only your Eddie mix-up. They're getting the burst right now. Tiger Pop fighting for their lives, having to set up the clone.
Brings out the drill from Eddie, doing 2K2D, actually utilizing the super to gain back all of this Eddie meter, and this is a very nice overhead to actually catch and backdash just a little bit to catch Tiger Pop trying to press a button in all of that block string.
Yeah, using that standing low to great effectiveness right there. Tiger Pop not ready for it. Maybe looking for the overhead and just getting caught by the standing low clips. Maybe even trying to jump out. Not going to be able to do so due to just the frames weren't there. And I mean, that's going to allow for the first game here to go to True Devin. Tiger Pop fighting on the back foot. And I mean, we saw such a dominant performance previously from Tiger Pop. Well, this is how it goes. The further you get into the bracket, the harder everything gets.
I do really enjoy that True Devin, even though doesn't have that Eddie meter, doesn't stop from actually attempting to be a little more oppressive. Still using this drill now to actually get the full corner carry. But once again, this has been a really good spot for True Devin. That red RC is going to catch him though off guard, and there goes the dust into the shots. And this might be where Tiger Pop's going to be able to kill using the red RC to do so.
Yeah, luckily for the wall break, that is always going to do at least 47 damage. So it's essentially like just a guaranteed kill once your opponent is that about a life, especially considering Zato has 0 guns, right? He's going to take full damage from your combo no matter how much the meter is there. I mean, excuse me, how much damage he's already taken.
Yeah, that 2S is very far reaching as well, so it works out pretty excellent, especially as Tiger Pop tries to extend some of those forward advancing moves. But the drill coming into play, and now Eddie actually getting caught off guard by the dust and into the full overdrive, where we're going to get this hard knockdown. Eddie comes back, moves forward, brings out drill, and this is just mixed city here for True Devin.
Yeah, but there's the 2S. Going to be able to get the up RC, which is really important because that got the full combo into death. If that was regular RC, that would not have gotten the cross-up and would not have allowed for an easy catch into the wall stick. So Tiger Pop, excellent awareness of the stage and knowledge of how to cancel that 2S properly to be able to get the W. So one apiece here. We might be going down to the wire here, Saki.
Oh, I think this might be another game 5. Not going to even hold you. It really just depends if True Devin can keep up with the adaptations. If you notice, Tiger Pop also actually being more aggressive towards Eddie, more so than True Devin, as there's been moments where I saw that he actually took out Eddie with 2P.
That looks like a bit of a issue right here. Yeah, they're probably gonna talk it out, see whose end it's on. But yeah, I mean, hey, one apiece.
Mm-hmm. Can we just talk about how they both looked really cool just standing there? Like you had Zato just pretty much like this fancy person, and then Tiger Pop's like, or rather Happy Chaos is like the rock star just chilling. Like we're gonna be cool, both of us.
he is always completely nonchalant, Happy Chaos, never caring about anything. You know, that's I mean that's the whole demeanor of the character, right?
Absolutely. But what a way, 1-1 right now. These two players are tied up, and it's been it's definitely apparent that they're both adapting to each other. I'm curious to see how game 3 will go.
Yeah, I mean, especially considering the way we've seen it, right? In particular, the way each player has figured out how to get out of the offense has been very, very studied. You'll notice that in the mid range, Tiger Pop will very specifically try to check the little Eddie doing Pierce, which is the little stab forward that he does twice with a jab. And what he'll do is he'll kill the little Eddie so that True Devin is stuck full screen without the ability to stop Tiger Pop from getting into guns. Or maybe True Devin will recognize that and he'll start to run forward a little more. So like, oh, you wanted to check little Eddie? Well, you're now in my 2S range. So you check little Eddie, you try to kill him, and then I get the upper hand by being able to do 2S drill. Right? So, but okay, so we've restarted the game. The score is going to stay the same, and we're back right into it.
Okay, great 5-peek into the 2P. Now Eddie once again gone. That meter is just now coming back. And that 2S and getting the side switch for Tiger Pop, actually catching the counter hit. It's a Deus Ex Machina.
Okay, I gotta tell you, it's actually better that the wall got broken there for True Devin, because a 6S counter hit would have killed Zato at that health value.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Unfortunately, not gonna fully work out as you know, Tiger Pop is gonna be able to get the mix up afterwards, but it could have led to something. It's totally possible. Sit on the other side, and that's what we were talking about right there. Sending little Eddie to the other side makes it so that Tiger Pop can't jab little Eddie out and kill him. However, not going to work out. Gets the wall hit. There's the slump. Mix up City.
Yeah, this is Happy Chaos time pretty much. Look at these staggers. Has one bullet left. A great 2P though from True Devin. Very much aware of the meter resource and a resource in general in those bullets. From Tiger Pop has 3 bullets now, whereas True Devin able to keep this pressure going, just now losing Eddie and having to wait for that bar to come back.
Yeah, no, you're 100% on the call with that. Just being able to check that the opponent has no bullets left means you can get out of a lot of stuff. But there's the dust to finish it off on that one. So Tiger Pop now 2-1, much stronger game.
Oh yeah, that was a very dominant game for both rounds from Tiger Pop. A just block in the air, as well as faultless defense to fall a little bit faster. 2P to try to call out Eddie, does get caught in this command grab, and now this is a hard knockdown for True Devin to bring out Frog, as well as to start up drill from Eddie. And slowly but surely gets the purple RC to keep it safe, as well as to slow down just a bit, but now full screen and in the curse.
Yeah, and I like the choice of burst timing right there for Tiger Pop, because it meant it killed little Eddie, because he was at full health, right? And so when you're able to burst and take away Eddie from full health, it stops a lot of Zato's pressure. Deus Ex Machina, he's got the focus back, he's got the bullets back, and he's got a hard knockdown here. You're gonna have to deal with this, but there's burst and YRC on the table for Devin.
Purple RC activated, but not gonna really catch anything, just slowing down a little bit, and then there's that fast RC to go ahead and shoot the final shot as Tiger Pop on potential set point here.
The burst definitely going to be coming into play on this one if True Devin wants to be able to make it happen, but the offense is definitely coming to play. Good lord, it feels like you can't get him away.
No, you can't. This is actually really good stuff here. That was a great way to use Eddie as baiting out that 2P and then getting the counter hit in. And there goes this command grab. Purple RC won't be able to kill. And we do get back into this neutral where now Tiger Pop is in the dominant position and will be able to get the wall break of their own.
Yeah, unfortunately got caught trying to do, you know, the incorrect wall splat. Had to use the meter for it. It's going to get it back thanks to the positive bonus. But now you have to deal with the possibility of True Devin being able to get away. Yeah.
Oh
You want to
my
try to
gosh.
reflect the bullet, but it's kind of hard. There's the 2S. The burst is available. Delays it just long enough.
Blocking the frog just in time, using the blue RC to do so. This
Yeah,
is an
there's no
overdrive,
meter.
but that is chip damage.
There's just no meter left right there for Tiger Pop, so you couldn't faultless defense. You know, that's going to prevent chip, but Sun Void, it hits enough times that if you have no meter, you're going to get chipped out anyway.
Still on potential set point. True Devin is going to have to try to take this to get to game 5, but because of that whiff grab, still gets hit. Ex Machina is going to be able to come out, and the wall break and hard knockdown as well. All of the resources just fully in Tiger Pop's favor. There goes the dust, and there you have it. Perfect.
Oh, man, yeah. I mean, it looked real good for True Devin thanks to that last round. The offense was immaculate, but Tiger Pop completely turning it around, doing what Happy Chaos does best, with a jovial ending in his car. And that's going to be moving on to winners finals right there for Tiger Pop, 3-1.
That was I loved True Devin's Zato play. I think what's really crazy about this is just that the fact that like in that last round before the final one, there was this moment where Tiger Pop could have definitely had the comeback happening. I think if True Devin just didn't have burst, it would have been a checkmate situation. But instead, that burst really kind of came in clutch and was able to sort of reset the full screen so that the overdrive could be used at as that ender. But the fact that Tiger Pop stayed so cool and collected, even at such a low health range, and then going into this last round so dominantly, and actually really calling out some of the attempts from True Devin's side, like the throw, where it just capitalized into just momentous damage.
Yeah, being able to push your opponent full screen and have it be a win condition is pretty strong, right? Like, just from your own burst, like, oh, I got out of your combo, and now I'm in my win condition because you're full screen. I have bullets. I have focus. You don't have a lot of chip or faultless defense. I might be able to make something happen here. You know, it gets real scary when fighting Happy Chaos as a result. So, yeah, I mean, and especially with what you're talking about with the mix-up on how they structured their offense, too. It wasn't just throw. It was also, you know, a lot of the situations with staggered bullet pressure. The recipe was there for success. Absolutely.
100%. So that will put Tiger Pop right now in winners finals. And I believe we're going to take a look at our bracket right now. So Oni Tiger Pop in winners finals. Our next winners semis is going to be SYG versus SYG Armix versus SYG Jetstream. Again, we had that last update for you in the last bracket that Pollux moved on over Neos 3-2. And so we'll be waiting for the loser of Armix versus Jetstream, I believe. And we're still waiting for Addiction versus Amato to then face against True Devin in the lower side of the bracket. It has been pretty heated with how these matches have been going. We were not surprised. We came in this very much knowledgeable about our EU players, about the EU players for Guilty Gear Strive. So not surprised at all at the level of competition that's happening.
Yeah, I feel like it was one of the first things we mentioned, that this in particular was something that we weren't going to be able to pick one specific person and easily call it. Oh, we have a live update right there. Woo! So it's going to be Addiction over Amato 3-2. Those losers matches are hotly contested because 3-2, both of them. True Devin Addiction's going to be the match that you're seeing, and we're going to figure out who's going to fight Pollux and who's going to fight Tiger Pop in SYG's Armix versus SYG Jetstream. You called it. We're doing the team kill. And, I mean, hey, look, if you're trying to be the best of the best, eventually you're going to run into your teammate, right? Like, that's just what the whole thing is about. So, get it over with now. I'll try to see you in grand finals. May the better person win type thing.
Absolutely. And I think that it's always a test of the rivalries, right? Like, you train together, you practice together, you collab together. Now we're gonna have to fight together, but against each other. And I mean, at the end of the day, right? SYG's gonna still be in that winners finals. It's just depending on who and what's gonna happen. Now, if you don't remember, we saw SYG Armix on the Ramlethal was actually beating Amato 3-0 against Amato's Biken, and then we had Jetstream, who actually brought out the Go Lewis surprise pick. Again, for the Milia play. I'm wondering if we're just going to see the Nago Ryuki play here. for the fact that now it's a different matchup, right? Something you mentioned in that match between Jetstream and Addiction was the fact that Gold Lewis is sort of like the anti-Millia tech, right? Has the perfect tools for that. And I also feel like Nagoriyuki has some really good tools against Ramlethal that might be also beneficial here.
Yeah, no, I mean, Nagoriyuki is just a strong character in all regards. Same thing with Ramlethal, right? So it's very easy to say Nagoriyuki can be picked at any minute. And all right, so we are actually seeing the Nagoriyuki being picked right here. Now, whether or not you can manage the blood gauge very easily with the annoyances that Ramlethal may bring is another question. And considering these two are teammates, I expect to see some weird stuff going on because it's one of those I know that you know that I know that you know situations. Yeah. Due to the fact that they've probably played against each other a couple of times, right, at this point.
Oh, 100%. This isn't going to be layer 1. This could be like layer 27.
At the 7th circle.
For sure. And what's crazy is that we saw the level of gameplay from both players, so it's going to be interesting to see how they take at each other. This is going to be the first time we're going to see Nagoriyuki for Jetstream in this particular situation, so I'm curious if we're going to see some of the pressure that we saw before with that Gold Lewis, and already that blood meters in the second stage.
Yeah, no, having at least one level of blood's going to be very important, but you want to be in level 2, right, which is exactly where you're at, and unfortunately you're going to pop on this one. Yeah, that's really bad. I had to use the burst right now, and you look at that blood gauge draining the life right there. That is the downside. So now, I mean, Jetstream's going to have to make something happen. Tried to go for the command grab, got the hit, and this is looking like one of Armix's rounds. I mean, it's definitely comebackable, though.
Yeah, this is definitely comebackable. Both players have the tools for it. Like right there, for example, the YRC probably coming in clutch here, but the jump dust actually stopping it and crossing up Jetstream.
Yeah, and because
it's
the jump
not
dust
over
hit, it took
until
away
they
a lot
say
of
it's
those
over.
frames. Yeah, exactly. It took away a lot of those frames, so probably trying to press a button, got hit by the far side. Oh, that's a big counter hit. No, full conversion though. Okay, wall stick on this one. No, it's opting to keep the wall alive. I love that decision because you're going to get a lot more damage out of this situation right here.
Yeah, now this is still level 1 Nagoriyuki, meaning that the guts on Nagoriyuki isn't Millia levels yet, so was able to really hold on to all of that damage without having to see or feel like a glass cannon. But right now, in that level 2, very close to fulling on level 3, and bringing out these larger hitboxes moves here.
Yeah, the 5H laser beam from full screen can't really use any special moves right now unless something hits. Right there, you can use a Fukio because it did connect. But otherwise, you're going to go into Blood Heat, and that could be a bad situation going into Blood Rage right now because it could be punished. Got the command grab, got the hit. Okay, it's got to make it work right now, and got it with the 6H.
Yup, that purple RC was very nicely done, and if you notice, really good blood meter management there as well. Actually slowing down a little bit and being more conscious of those levels. And right now, this is a great knockdown. Gets the OTG, tries to open up with the 2K, but it's slowed down just enough for Armix to burst.
Yeah, really trying to crank that wrist gauge right now with all the pressure. Just, yeah, getting all that blood gauge back. Now, you're still in level 3 blood heat, so could be pretty bad, but all right, Armix with the hit. You gotta remember, meter is on deck. YRC could be available, but it's gonna go for the hard knockdown.
Oh,
so much damage, too.
Damage.
Yeah,
and
that's
again,
the nerf right there.
Exactly, that's that nerf that we just mentioned. Tries to backdash off of the Rekka. YRC also avoiding the explosion off of the sword. And we do try to just block these anti-air attempts, and wow, that was good for that throw.
Yeah, the just blocks were perfect to make that throw happen. You know, when you just block something, it keeps you in range, right? There's no pushback, but oh, wow, you're not going to get any pushback on that burst because Armix was completely ready for it, taking the first game, and yeah, oh yeah, you best believe it's going to be close all the way through and through.
Notice again, they're like in layers of like 7 and 8. Like they skipped level 1, they skipped their conditioning. This is how you know they've practiced against each other, and they truly are very much aware of each other's habits. They're calling things out that most people don't really get to do until later on in their matches. And it's been non-stop one after the other, and Armix being so dominant in this first round again with all of this damage, and practically 25% and already gone.
And Jetstream was not even in a higher level of blood. Jetstream was at 0 blood. So that was just normal Nagoriyuki health, just doing all that damage. That is proper routing. Really good awareness from Armix. And hey, look, awareness right there. Catching the Fukio with the throw, you cannot let those teleports go unanswered. And I mean, that's, again, one of those habit-catching things when you know somebody. Armix now has all this pressure afforded because of the one throw, and you can just see the reward paying off.
Wow. The call out on the air-to-air as well, that was actually more detrimental to Jetstream than before. The 2P to stop the ongoing pressure twice, and now it's just backdashing and getting a little bit of space to complete the Rekka, gets the red RC to continue pressure. These just blocks are gonna have to come in clutch. The purple RC into the fast cancel off of the overhead. That 2P though, able to get Jetstream a little bit of breathing room and back into full screen with some of these larger hitbox buttons.
I mean, especially with the blood being as high as it is, Jetstream has to be really wary about using special moves and just stuck in block stun so long. 90% of Jetstream's meter that match was used on faultless defense, trying to get Armix away. And so Armix paid with paid in blood basically on that being a thing, because you don't have meter to YRC me away. Oh, you don't have meter to RC if you mess up anything. You're done. I can just control the entire space of the game.
Yeah, and I think that's one thing that, like, we talk about some of the countermeasures against Ramlethal, right? And it comes down to the fact that you sometimes have to use those resources as a defensive measure. But also notice that more times than not, Armix was very much pressuring, then backing off just a little bit, that to avoid any of, like, the, for example, 2S was a moment that I saw in the corner, and then right back into the Rekka pressure, right back into the sword explosion pressure, and then really forcing Jetstream to choose, okay, either you're gonna block all this time or you're gonna try to jump out. And then at even one point going as far as then to implement that 2K mix that we saw there for the ender.
Yeah, I mean, especially when you have the sword on top of you too, that 2K becomes really, really annoying, because you're like, oh, okay, the sword's on top of me, so I should try to 6P in case they use the 5K, and it's like, oh no, they did the 2K, so it goes under by 6P, so I get blown up for it. You know, there's just so many layers to that situation that Armix is able to set up, and it's just really good awareness, right? But oh, the classic Nago start. Okay, so one of the things I always like to talk about with Nago is if he lands a command grab at a round start, you've probably lost.
I think that's very close. That's definitely the case here. You called it very nicely. The typical Nagoriyuki, that round start just doing a great job, but now Armix gets this pressure to call it back out. But let's see if Jetstream can continue it here, as now it's Jetstream's corner.
Jetstream is going nuts right now. You see, Jetstream completely changing up the gameplay. We saw so much defense, so much stoicism before, and now here's the bust out, just going as ham as humanly possible, trying to make everything happen. And Armix looks like they're fighting for their life. You see all these 2Ps just trying to be able to get away. And oh, that was a beautiful call out. Knowing the frames of Nagoriyuki and knowing that you do not have to take that. There is a gap there, and you can get away.
But you've been on it though, like you mentioned, Jetstream just going way more of an aggressive approach, and I think that was something that you're in your potential final game here, right? You have to make it count, but not gonna be able to connect, but does get the Bloodsucking Universe as the ender, and Jetstream is now on the board with that aggressive playstyle. That is insane. But you know, again, we saw that kind of happen earlier in that first match, but Armix sort of pushed onto this, like, no, you're gonna play slower at my pace, and this time wasn't able to implement that at all. Instead, Jetstream was the one that was more aggressive.
I have no idea how you're supposed to play slower at that pace when Jetstream is just going nuts. I would be screaming in my living room right now, like, help! Get me out of here! And I mean, you're seeing it right now. There's going to be a lot of life taken off right here. The blood gauge is going to be stopped as a result of this super, and Jetstream is going to be able to get a full mix-up. Now, there is 15 meter for Armix. Oh, Bloodsucking Universe, and yeah, caught the frame trap 2D. Normally 2K 2D, you know, is a very scary thing to do right there, but Jetstream had so much health, not really worried about the super, right?
Absolutely. And now we do get some form of a pickup here on the round start for Armix, especially with that air special. There goes the 6P catching Jetstream's attempt. Mortobato to be able to actually do the wall break. Great block on the gold burst, and this actually might kill. Yep.
Yeah, I mean that is again, you know, a part of the nerf right there. That was really good for Armix, and so now, despite what Jetstream has been doing, that is set point here for Armix. Maybe getting a bit overzealous with these command grabs right now. I'm not, you know, the thing is I don't want to knock him for all the command grabs because they've been paying off super hard. Oh, the BRC! That's gonna be able to get on the gold burst. Incredible. That's gonna kill, right? Good lord.
Yep. We are now into game 5 with Jetstream waking up and smelling the blood. Blood is in this water right now, and it is definitely working out for Jetstream. It's crazy because this whole like aggressive approach, you mentioned it perfectly about how Jetstream's using the command grab more, but it's almost like Jetstream's willing to risk it all for it because it's been helping so much. Whereas Armix thought that the conditioning happened, but it looks like these last 2 games, the conditioning just went out the window, and now it's all of Jetstream's pace.
Yeah, I think that's why we're seeing Armix taking a second here, is because they're like, okay, hold on, we need to put this Nagoriyuki on ice for a minute. They're a bit too hot right now. The pace is a bit too fast. I need to slow it down, because that's when Rambuthal really catches you slipping, is when she is allowed to just kind of sit there and let you hang yourself. The problem is I mean, Jetstream is just using the tools that Nagoriyuki has to great effectiveness, right? He's super good at forcing his way in with the Beyblade, and as a result, he is going to make you panic. And when you start to panic, you don't know what to do because, oh god, is it close slash? Is it command grab? Am I going to get hit by the 2K2D? What could this be? What do I have to deal with?
You
the change up in the color?
I love this color. This color is probably one of my favorites. Oh, but no! That was a burst safe combo there for Jetstream. You've mentioned it before, like, this is pretty much all of Jetstream's like momentum right now, and it's almost like Armix is just panicking, just like with that burst and just like with that attempt to try to get the far slash out for perfect there, and now it's Jetstream that's on potential set point.
Jetstream clearly woke up, like had the coffee, was missing that caffeine or something. I don't know what it is, but good lord, is calling out just about everything perfectly, is managing the blood gauge really well, has the resources to get out when they mess up, but now finally Armix with some offensive pressure can maybe change the tide a little bit. That drop, oh yes, again, a great call out, recognizing that, hey, your stuff is not a true block string. I'm gonna get out of it if I ever keep on.
An interesting choice to go first there for Jetstream. This might work. Yep, there goes that purple RC, and then that's going to be able to punish the Mortobato attempt. Oh. And wow, Jetstream doing the reverse 3-0 on Armix. Fully going the aggressive approach and not letting Armix even think for a moment.
Yeah, well, I mean, Armix was clearly flustered right there because none of that was a combo, by the way. Like, after the Bloodsucking Universe, that close slash connected, and then the far slash was not comboing afterwards. They just got straight counter hit. And so, I guess maybe they were just not ready for the zoo, if you will, because they were going nuts over there.
That is like your typical aggressive Nago Ryuki. I feel like just honestly like Avalanche, just like, this is my game now. Like, I'm going to implement everything that makes me a good character and actually enforce it. And you know, that's one of those things where we talked about it, right? Like, they were both playing in ways that they sort of like knew each other's habits, so their conditioning was already at a level where they were familiar, right? But now you saw Jetstream like, hold up, I gotta change it up, because if I don't change it up, I'm just gonna end up playing Armix's game, and you don't want to play that game because you're losing to it already. And Armix even having to take a minute to breathe, and even that minute couldn't help because of how fast that round in that game was just going.
Yeah, no, you're 100% right. Like, just the fact that we were attempting to be able to slow things down to put it back into the Ramluthal game plan, and it still was just not enough, right? Was just, absolute insanity. Just super, super smart decisions on that one. Armix, unfortunately, going to be going to the losers bracket. And, you know, I mean, hey, look, again, that's the beauty of the lower bracket, is the fact that you have the second chance to be able to make the comeback. You can meet your teammate up in that grand finals, and you guys can fight for the right to go to Evo on the PlayStation care package. But we do have our upper bracket finals solidified. We do know that Armix will be playing Pollux in the lower bracket. Tiger Pop is going to be playing Jetstream to figure out who is going to be guaranteed a second place. And I mean, hey, if you're in the upper bracket final, you're guaranteed a third place at the very least. You're making something good.
Mm-hmm. I agree with you there. Absolutely. And with that is definitely something that you are going to, like, this is where you're going to see a lot of these players really ramp up their potential. Because, again, the whole goal is to get to Evo, right? That whole idea of actually making your mark at Evo with the game that you are probably been the most competitive in definitely comes into play. But you know where else, before we head off to this break, you can check out some competitive? You could go to compete.playstation.com. You can go on your desktop, you can go on mobile, you can go on your consoles, okay? And definitely sign up for some of these open qualifiers. We also still have games going on to try to get to Evo that you don't want to miss. It's pretty cool care package for sure. And with that, we'll be right back with some more Guilty Gear Strive Road to Evo. Don't miss out.
It's not a big deal. We can handle it. I don't have to think about it. What we need to do is clear. Don't you think? I don't know any other answer than yeah, and I don't need to know. Now it's your turn. Cat got your time. I'm for this one to work and bark. It's a vacant dirt. Your regret that no one knows. Bark and bark. God, that's the last time you ever hear. The kiss of death. I'm sorry about that. You thought it through. I don't have to think about it. Out there those who believe. What about you? When I'm older, I do anything. I want to keep turn. Could got your turn. I'm ready for Bird and a bar is the way counters. The only riff that no one knows. Bird and a bar keep going, that's the last sound you ever hear. The kiss of death.
PlayStation.
Gaming is defined by moments.
It is intense.
The joy of victory and the thrill of overcoming challenges. Welcome to our home of competitive gaming, where we can all experience exciting esports moments
The final 1v1 of the game here.
and celebrate the pros and the rising stars,
I do want to see a female in the MCS.
bringing you guides and deep dives
Horizon can go up, but she can't go up fast.
and tournaments where the community competes.
Wait! Did he get? No way!
Whether you're in a heated match
Back, let's go.
or watching along at the edge of your seat,
A duo taking down a trio!
let's create moments from the games you love.
Come take it!
Join us and subscribe to our channel to follow everything esports on PlayStation.
PlayStation.
And welcome back, everybody, to the Guilty Gear Strive Road to EVO, brought to you by PlayStation Tournaments FGC Arcade. I am joined by Saki Sakura, and you just saw what is the new YouTube channel for the PlayStation Tournaments. It is over on youtube.com/PlayStation Esports right there, and you can check out all the footage you just saw there and more, based off of everything esports that we're going to be doing on PlayStation Tournaments. And, you know, now in the future, what you're seeing today, it's all going to be seen. You're going to be able to check it out. And Saki, well, we've definitely been checking out some very, very strong Guilty Gear Strive today, haven't we?
We have. We really, really have. I'm at the edge of my seat. I was like in this break and I was just thinking, wow. Like, it's good to see that there's been different characters inside this top 8. Of course, we have our usual, like, again, like Happy Chaos, Nagoriyuki, etc. But just the fact that we get to see some of these different, not only players, but characters within this top 8 has been a really big breath of fresh air that I'm just excited to see how this next half of the show just really goes through. And again, it's that road to EVO. So with that being said, we have, if you're just tuning in our winners finals, we have Oni Tiger Pop versus SYG Jetstream. These two have been probably one of the craziest and probably the strongest players in tonight's bracket that have really gone head to head. And then followed by, we do have some updates from our lower side of the bracket, where you have Armix, who won against Pollux 3-0, and True Devin, who won against Addiction 3-1, where now they'll be going up head-to-head, Armix versus True Devin. that is a really solid, honestly, top 4. And what's crazy is like this is kind of the top 4 that I expected after seeing the winners round 1 matches, for sure.
Yeah, no, I mean it was gonna be hard for everyone no matter what with the level of play that had gotten into this top 8. You know, every one of these players had to go through an open qualifier, and they did so with, you know, just brute force strength, excellent decision making, and we're seeing it all on display here. And you got to see it in exactly those round 1 matches that you're talking about. And well, I mean, it's labored us into this top 4, and now you're seeing some of the strongest players that we can have. So we do have our upper bracket finals, we do have our semis, we do have our top 4 that will find out. I mean, hey, who's going to get the PlayStation Care package, right? Who is going to be going to EVO on the PlayStation name, the PlayStation brand? And also, one thing I totally want to mention specifically is that for Melty Blood, one of the people that got sent to EVO, the Japanese person, won EVO off of the PlayStation win. So, I mean, hey, we could be looking at the next EVO champion, is all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
That's so very true. And honestly, that's like a really awesome, like, I want to say like hero journey per se, in terms of like how cool these opportunities come along. Because it's really hard to try to reach out, brand yourself, and get sponsors to look at you. And then you come into these types of competitions for this intense goal of like, this can help me a lot to try to get into that position of being at EVO. Again, EVO, for those of you who don't know what it is, it's very much a one-of-a-kind moment. But speaking of one-of-a-kind moments, here we go. We're going to go into our winners finals. Best of 5, Tiger Pop versus Jetstream, Happy Chaos, versus, I want to say this is going to be Nagoro Yuki. We have seen Jetstream's Goat Lewis, but I think Nago is going to be the play here.
I feel like it's so hard to play Gold Lewis versus Happy Chaos. Like, okay, so, like, I know that Happy Chaos has little to zero defensive options, right? Like, he's basically working off of system mechanics. And Gold Lewis loves that. But the problem being is how does Happy Chaos then get in? Or, excuse me, how does Gold Lewis get in before that moment comes up, right? Like, that's the hardest part. Nagoriyuki, we saw earlier before the break exactly how Nagoriyuki gets in. He can just brute force his way in. He doesn't care about anything that you're doing.
Absolutely. I think one thing, though, that we kind of have to keep in mind here for Tiger Pop is the adaptation. The first game, or first roundish or so, it's going to be more of like downloading, figuring out what type of game plan that Jetstream is pumping out. However, I think one of the biggest things that might be in favor of Tiger Pop is just the adaptability that has been showcased over and over again.
Ooh, yeah, I love it when they let the intros rocks for matches like this. It really gives me that tenseness, that it gets my energy going.
It's technically a canon match too, if you think about it.
Oh, no, it's not even technically. You're just correct. Like, that's what it is. I mean, you know, Nagoriyuki's none too happy with Happy Chaos for sure. Oh yeah, trying to go for the burst to be able to get out of that situation, but Tiger Pop ready for it. And you know, you are a little bit of blood gauge, but the problem is you have the curse, you've got the meter, you've got the bullets, and you probably have the wall break here. Oh no! Try to go for the wall slump, but didn't recognize that Jetstream was just a bit too high.
Yeah, actually going for the full reload, which I actually think that wasn't a bad decision on Tiger Pop's part, especially considering that Jetstream's on the lower health side. This is now just playing patient and playing really smart against Tiger Pop, which, like right there with that blue RC, able to really seal this round. So I honestly agree with that reload decision, even though it bounced back.
Well, I mean, hey, it's regardless of how it went, I mean, that round was taken by Tiger Pop. It's got the counter hit right there. That's a really good starter as well, especially with the meter that you've got. You're going to be able to get the bullets back. You got the focus back earlier. Got the hard knockdown going. And, I mean, hey, Nagoriyuki is another character that doesn't have the defensive capability. Is working on system mechanics. But with the bust out on the 2S, got the backdash.
Ooh, there goes Clone, but still getting hit by the command grab. And now Tiger Pop in this corner here is going to get hit by that counter slash, and this is death for sure.
Yeah, I mean, and then even if for some reason that wasn't going to kill, that was going to lead into Pop connecting, and that was going to be a 50-50 situation, right? And in Jetstream's favor, it was either going to be high or low, and you just were going to have to deal with it. But oh no, again, another really strong starter right here, forcing the burst. Half the life already gone. The super focus is out. Got the cross up double time. There's no bullets though.
That
Hold on.
double roll.
Yeah, that's a great YRC.
That double roll is like definitely probably the bane of existence for a lot of players. And right now, Tiger Pop able to get the dust into the follow-up shot. And then we have Do Ex Machina able to go for damage and the wall break. And now this game goes to Tiger Pop.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you on that roll. I know a lot of people who are like, well, I mean, like, a lot of the time I don't even get to block it. I try to throw it and I just die for it. Yeah, I mean, first game right there, Tiger Pop. Just excellent resource management, really good control of, yeah, the Fukio right there. You see it. I mean, the Fukio getting caught is super important in my opinion because, you know, you can show that Jetstream can't move around the stage super easily.
Yeah, using the fast RC to create this bounce effect that allowed the heavy shot and then into the wall break. And this was such a dominant round from Tiger Pop. I think the only damage that was received was ship damage. And that was basically Tiger Pop's full entire game. And we see it again here where Jetstream still has access to burst, but it's hard to burst against Happy Chaos, who has most of the combo, or good combo routes, burst safe. But there goes that gold burst, and now Jetstream with the full bar of meter.
Ooh, the 5 slaughter got the hit into the far slash. That's really good, because it's going to get rid of a lot of the blood. The YRC is fourth here, but the back throw incident is occurring currently. This could be very, very bad for Jetstream because you're going to have to deal with multiple mix-ups. That was meant to be a YRC, but that's burst safe! It's burst safe!
And this is where Jetstream can come out on top. Breaking the wall, goes for the blue RC to slow down time, tries to go for the dust, but still the shots are coming out, and Tiger Pop has to reload, but doesn't matter, dashes up and grabs, and we are now Tiger Pop 2-0 versus Jetstream. Really calling out some of these aggressive attempts on Jetstream, and really going for a very solid game plan of just meter management, resource management, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, especially baiting out a lot of throws too, just kind of walking forward, shimmying with the backdash afterwards. We're seeing quite a few counter hits as a result. I mean, it's one of those reads that you have on Jetstream as a player if you're Tiger Pop, right? It's very clear. But there's the burst immediately, already in level 2 blood. If Jetstream is able to get out of this. This is actually very important because, you know, with all that blood, you can really make a lot of chip damage happen. You can really make a lot of damage in general happen. Going for the hard combos.
Oh, that last hit actually able to reach Tiger Pop, but Tiger Pop's able to get the corner combo carry. There's the blue RC though, and actually using grab for Jetstream to close out and Tiger Pop in that round.
Yeah, I'm starting to wonder if maybe a few of these dusts are a bit overzealous from Jetstream. They're cutting real close in bad terms.
I agree.
But,
they're very much
slash.
too far out. And it's definitely causing some troubles here for Jetstream. But Tiger Pop able to get out of the corner. I feel like Tiger Pop's a master of getting out of the corner every single time.
Yeah, has just found a way no matter what. But speaking of finding a way, got the jump out on that one. Was really trying to watch out for the burst. Wanted to keep that completely burst safe. And now here's the wall slump. You got to deal with the mix-up here. You don't have YRC. You don't have burst.
And I think that was... Does this hit? It does. I think it was a little bit of a reset hit, was it? Or was it from the wall slump?
It was wall slump, yeah.
Yeah.
No, all that faultless is now going to have to get used versus these gunshots and not take too much chip damage, yeah. Which is really good for Tiger Pop because that's going to put in a check situation, another super focus, another clone allowing for the bullets, and you just have to deal with this. I mean, Nagoriyuki's movement options are not great, right? So that's why this is so strong. And another dust coming out from Tiger Pop. We are currently on set point for Tiger Pop, trying to make it in the grand finals here.
It's one of those checkmate situations that Tiger Pop can definitely execute very well, but Jetstream now put into the corners, trying to fight out of it, using the teleport to try to come in a little bit closer, but is still just barely reaching. There goes the burst back into full screen, as well as there goes the clone does actually use 2S and unfortunately gonna get hit by that super off of the reversal.
I was wondering if that was close enough to the wall, because if it wall broke, that may have ended up being a kill. But there's the anti-air right there. That's meter gone. I mean, you might be able to chip out, but yeah, you were too worried about the blood gauge. I understand if you're Jetstream. Just got to be able to find a way around the gunshot. Got counter hit on this one. This could be a comeback in the making for Tiger Pop.
This could be,
Oh,
but yep, I was just gonna say, you have to press. At some point, you're gonna have to take the risk and press, and the 5P was your best option to do so.
Yeah, what a good call out right there. You know, there had just been so much blocking from Jetstream. It felt like that they were just only going to defend and they were too afraid to, you know, allow for a comeback to be possible. But no, sometimes you do have to press the button, because when you get scared enough, you start to afford your opponent extra opportunities on their offensive pressure that normally shouldn't be there, right? It's, some people like to call it fake pressure, but it's, you know, it's real if your opponent allows you to do it. So Jetstream basically was like, I'm not allowing this.
It's also dependent
block
on
on the
that
jump.
button, right? Oh my gosh, and here we go, do Ex Machina coming right out and able to break this wall, and all this damage just completely gone! It's just gone!
Okay, but that's going to allow for a lot of special moves to be done thanks to the fact that, you know, the Bloodsecond Universe slows down the timer there. Got the far slash, another 6H, another 6H.
You know, this could be the start of the momentum Jetstream could have used. We saw this happen in the last match before the break, where Jetstream just changed completely and actually made the reverse 3-0 comeback, but right now we see Tiger Pop really the one slowly getting a corner carry with those kicks.
Yeah, you know, you may be seeing that Jetstream is just a long-term player, right? Like one of those players that just requires extra games to figure out the. Oh my God! Run out the backdash BRC jump kick in the last moment. We have yet to see that all tournament, and Jetstream pulling it out when it matters the most, completely unready for it, and we are 2-2 just as quickly as we were talking about the first round.
That blue RC backdash was phenomenal. Like, that's the type of tech that you want to use at this level of the game, very much closer to the end. It's a card that you don't want to release too quickly, and rather use it when your opponent least expects it. And this is where, even though Tiger Pop is the one that's having this corner pressure off of the wall slump and applying the pressure, Jetstream can try to make it out of it. It all comes down to, like you said, those decisions in these moments.
And I mean, the 50-50 right there from Tiger Pop to try and put it in again, set point situation, but oh, got caught. That's big. Almost
Watch your
level 2.
toes
That's
as that
assuredly
2S
going to
slides
be
through. There goes this roll, and now it's the dust here from Tiger Pop. Throw tech though from Jetstream. This is potentially set point for Tiger Pop too, so even though there's guts on the line, it all depends on how Tiger Pop can initiate this wall break and go into the next screen.
Yeah, I mean, there's 50 meter for Jetstream this burst, so at least there's something that you can use to get out, but I imagine, yeah, this is all burst safe, by the way. Oh,
Wow.
backdash, caught the far slash right into the gunshot, and Tiger Pop changing up the momentum, stopping the shift in aggression, and making it happen, is going to be moving on to the grand finals on the upper bracket side, meaning still has both the chances, so they are going to have a bit of an advantage going into it.
What a phenomenal game 5, best of 5. Like, this is the type of level of Guilty Gear that I love seeing, because it just goes back and forth. And the thing is that when you're in the match, those matches go a lot slower than when you're at home watching, right? You're seeing everything like at a fast pace, but there's so much happening in these players' minds that it feels like a more slow down rate. And there you have it with Tiger Pop in grand finals waiting, so already solidifying minimum top 2. That does leave to Jetstream to go down to the lower side of the bracket. It's not the end of the world. There's still a chance to fight it out. But we should definitely check out to see who will be the opponent as we head down to the lower side of the bracket for our next match, which will be our SYG Armix versus True Devin. And once again, This has been a very, very tough bracket. Just that level of caliber. And honestly, I love seeing the EU side duke it out. This is great. As an NA player myself, coming from like seeing mostly NA in Japan, this is a great opportunity to see the level of skill in EU. And I can understand why a lot of the times these top 8s in these majors tends to be very populated from EU countries.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, we are moving into the lower bracket side now. We are going to figure out who has the pleasure of fighting Jetstream. Now, we could see the run back from the team kill, or we could see a completely new match with True Devin versus Jetstream, which we have yet to see the entire time because they were on opposite sides of the bracket when it ended up happening. However, you know, Armix, True Devin, we got to fight that out first. We got to see who's going to get there. And, I mean, these are two players that we've seen, like, a very strong level of control from the entire time, right? And that makes sense considering their character choices. These are two characters that just control the game very, very well. In particular, Ramlethal is very, very good at the mid-range, you know, super hard to deal with in that regard, whereas Zato is a character that's like, all right, I'm either full screen or I'm up in your face, and you shouldn't be able to do anything about either, right?
Absolutely. Now, this is Zato versus Ram. We've both seen how True Devin plays when it comes to Zato. Some of the biggest highlights, again, if you are just tuning in and you're sort of seeing these players for the first time, has been very methodical, slowing down, using Eddie in a way where it's very much an extension of Zato, which is how it should be, right? That's the puppet character. And as well as Armix, pretty much the anti-air god in this bracket, really calling out some of these air-to-airs as well as these 6Ps and converting phenomenally off of them.
No, I'm really glad that you mentioned the anti-air god part because, like, you know, you're just 100% correct. The 6P placement from Armix has been almost perfect in every situation. A lot of jumps just go unanswered by people. Armix is not that kind of person. And I mean, hey, you want to talk about something that should never go unanswered? A stray burst just being met with 75% of the life. There was not something going unanswered there, and that's just going to finish it off here.
That is true. If you're not aware, if your opponent is able to block YRC, that is a punishable reaction there. So great job from Armix to call out some of those defensive measures that True Devin was trying to do in that moment. But this is the first time we got to see some offensive pressure, even though that whiff command grab happened. Armix whiffing their own throw, and now Armix is the one that's on the side here, actually able to catch True Devin off guard and fully get some damage going with the laser overdrive.
I mean, there's meter on deck at the very least for True Devin, so it can make the conversion happen. Wow, just barely backdashing the heavy slash, but now the sword is on deck, blocks the overhead. A second one, but no follow-up because there's no meter, there's no sword.
I did like the double dust attempt, but yeah, that cross-up is going to be rough. And there goes this gold burst. This is actually a good decision considering the position that has been for Armix. There goes YRC and the drill though, clashing and moving forward.
So the break the law going under the YRC with little Eddie up, trying to make sure that, you know, everything is covered simultaneously. Super good awareness from True Devin right now. And, I mean, we're already seeing it. It's definitely looking to be down the wire. The 6P to be able to get out on this one. We have Pierce on deck, and True Devin fighting for the life. Has a lot of bar, too. There's finally the overhead. And recognizing that Little Eddie was about to go down, so did the up RC to be able to make it work. Gets the Little Eddie back post-wall break as a result.
Yeah, that, considering the minimum of resources, but Armix right now starting this up, getting the sword explosion for the wall splat, and then now we go into this laser overdrive that's just gonna kill. That's just gonna hurt. It's just gonna hurt.
Zato's got no health.
Totally
Zato
fine.
got no health. That man bleeds hard. He's got no defense because he's got some of the strongest offense, you know. The burst right there early on. You know, we've been seeing a lot of early bursts in regards to this this tournament in general.
Yeah, I feel like this might be the most tournament I see those early bursts happen often. But I mean, these are hard-hitting characters. Like, look at all of that health just gone from simple interactions that led to like really mix up heavy setups. And now that whiff throw actually costing True Devin here, allowing Armix to start up some form of pressure. Now that was a close slash that was catching Armix off guard, and we're going to go into the overdrive for the kill, especially with this wall break damage.
Yeah, Morphus is going to do way more damage than Sunvoid. Sunvoid is normally the overdrive you go towards if you're trying to get any meter back, but Amorphous is the one if you want to kill, and that's going to get it. Gold Burst at round start is really, really good for Armix, because that means you get to kind of control everything, and good lord, his health is gone!
That's exactly like what you said. This is a great position, and now, of course, you have your positive bonus, so that's two, like, pretty much 3 bars of meter you just got back from doing that Morobato and getting that going. But there goes that yellow YRC interaction again that True Devin calls out, and able to actually be on the beneficial side of the clash. And now it's True Devin who's able to do the wall break and actually release Eddie into drill and start up pressure here against Armix.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be another wall break on this one, and also just apparently death. I thought he was going to live with the Sliver of Health, but no, I was incorrect, as True Devin one apiece now. Again, the further you get into the bracket, the harder the competition becomes, and you start to see the resolve of each player, and everybody wants this road to Evo.
Bit of those pokes happening. We do get the Eddie drill out, double Eddie drill, and now there goes the dust that does force the burst, and Eddie's coming back right now and using Frog to leap out, but now Eddie's knocked out of the field and taking a little bit of time to actually come back out. And then there goes this mix of heavy once again. And now it's going to be to seal the kill. And there you have it. True Devin taking this first round.
Yeah, no, super strong start right there from True Devin. It's with all the resources on top of that too, right? Had kept the burst for that. It's got the little Eddie back here just after this knockdown. Now, but Armix with the throw pressure. Now, this throw pressure has worked out really, really well in previous rounds for Armix. And, I mean, it's starting to work out again. It's going to be able to get the knockdown. Oh, I think that meant to be canceled into overdrive, but might have missed it. Not going to matter, though. Not going to matter.
Yeah, that was all that health that just went down. Armix could have afforded the trade, and it worked out in favor. But something to keep in mind, you don't want to be dropping those, especially in such situations. And against a player like True Devin right now, too.
Yeah, I mean, with the trip to Evo on the line, definitely not something you want to... Oh, Lord! That's a lot of damage, for sure. God,
oh my gosh, that overhit!
I knew it was a lot of damage. I really... but I wasn't sure if it was going to kill it. 5H counter hit is one of those buttons that you automatically burst if you have it. Unfortunately, True Devin did not have burst, so...
No, and it's one of those things too that it's like, it's a very, like, it doesn't scale hard, so once you get that counter hit and then you just end with that overdrive mixed with like the character's guts, it's like over, especially with wall damage too, but here we go, we have True Devin trying to start up pressure and actually able to get the side switch. Does let Armix drop to the ground to get the command grab, using the fast red RC to actually let Eddie do drill right here. And this is just pressure right now on Armix. Actually avoiding the Morobato was all the way on the other side of the screen before coming right back in.
Oh yeah, and actually got the 2K2D RC, so that's going to be full conversion into corner carry. This is going to change the tide of everything right here, because Little Eddie was gone. He's going to try to have to find a way out, and yeah, you're looking for a way out, but it's not going to be the close slash on the meaty. Armix now on set point here. Oh yeah, counter hit.
I will say, True Devin's been doing a really excellent job of just trying to set up Eddie, but I think what really comes down to is that these big counter hits that Armix keeps getting helps close out these rounds very, very nicely. Whereas it takes a bit for Devin to actually open up Armix, and here it is, right? There's this counter hit damage that's just coming from the Rekka, catching you off guard, and now you're just back in full screen here.
Punish on the dust right here, and oh no. It's gonna, oh, backdash RC into the jump dust! Oh, the backdash RC actually gave the invincibility to get over the 2K, allowed for True Devin to get the punish on top of that, stays alive now. Burst is available for Armix for this round, however. There's the 2S counter hit, pushing forward. Now we're going to see a lot of that hellacious offense, but a good burst again, because not only does it get you out of the corner, but it also kills little Eddie.
Yeah, and that bar for Eddie is still actually recovering, just now getting full once again for Eddie to come out and actually start up the side switch, opening up with that fuzzy, and able to get the sword out to then get full meter back from Eddie. And now it's Armix who's the one that's been having to play the defensive game here.
Yeah, well, I mean, you might have to get back into that offense trying to do so, but now the defensive game right back, just like you were talking about, Saki, especially because the RC. Eddie is gone, and there's the Commander. That's going to finish it off. And that's one of those, like, situations where you kind of run into what does the opponent have available due to the lack of resources, right? And command throw can become a pretty prevalent option when the opponent is out of Eddie meter, because you're in the corner, they get their meaty set up, they get their Eddie back, everything's great. But when you steal the burst at round start to break the wall, that can be a big morale boost, and you can tell True Devin is running away with it.
I also like the decision not to continue in fully breaking the wall just yet. Notice that with this, even though it scales, you only have to have a few interactions left, compared to Armix, who has to have a good amount of counter hits, and that throw's just going to seal it with True Devin now on potential set point.
Yeah, this is a complete turnaround from what we saw earlier. We did see Armix with the set point earlier, and now the burst is forced out from True Devin immediately. Wants to get that momentum early, and that's why the burst was so fast. Oh, there's the jump T on the delayed overhead. The pressure is coming. Little Eddie is being de-summoned just fast enough just to be able to make sure that the pressure keeps going. The Sun Void is going to keep it going even further right now. It feels like it never ends.
It never ever ends when you're in the land of Zato. And there we go. We're going to break the wall again. Just one interaction is all you need. And there it goes with True Devin moving on and taking out SYG Armix.
Wow, with the 2S at the end right there, probably trying to jump, getting caught, and True Devin really smelled that blood in the water, recognized when the panic was setting in for Armix, and you could tell in the offensive pressure that that was the case because of how they constructed just the anger in the offense that was that. It legitimately just seemed volatile how far forward they were willing to go.
Yeah, as time went on, it was actually harder to catch 2-Evan on those counter hits. Like I mentioned, something that was happening and helping Armix quite often, and this is just what makes Ramathal such a good character, right? Is those counter hits, they don't really scale. So on top of the fact that her hitboxes are pretty disjointed, so she can really do that risk reward and just throw out those moves and try to get, like, solidify those counter hits. Whereas for Zato, it takes a lot more. You have to open up your opponent, and if they're a good defender, that's gonna play into the factor of, like, yes, you're taking longer to try to get that big damaging combo. You have damage, but you have to use a lot more resources and a lot more of a different strategy than, whereas Ram is just counter, get that hit, sometimes with reversals, sometimes just fully on pressure as well. And then you see True Devin make these adjustments that just make the most sense, and it was now Armin who was having to play the defensive game.
Yeah, and you don't want to be playing the defensive game versus Zato. You don't want to be on the defensive as Ramlethal, because, again, another character with just system mechanics is your reversals and whatnot. So it just became snowball after snowball, just rolling down the hill, getting bigger and bigger for True Devin, and that's going to move True Devin on. We are going to get that match that we have yet to see this tournament right now. As you guys see, Jetstream versus True Devin is going to be what's up next. And, of course, waiting in the wings, watching at the top of the rafters, sitting in the throne, is Tiger Pop, trying to figure out who has the worthiness of challenging them between Jetstream and True Devin.
Yeah, this, the way you said that reminded me of how Happy Chaos was just watching everything unfold and then finally revealing himself in, like, the whole lore of things. But yeah, it feels that way because Tiger Pop has played both of these players and has just been dominant, with Jetstream really being the closest one to, like we saw in that bracket, closest one to actually make it a little bit, I think even final round. if I'm not mistaken. So something to keep in mind here, as True Devin, both players have the comeback potential. They want that run back, right? Now, it all depends if they get to go home as a 3rd place, 2nd place, or if they can make it back to 1st place to be able to go to EVO on the PlayStation name.
Yeah, well, I mean, you may be winning something regardless of what placing you get, you know? However, it is definitely the bragging rights and the free trip, the free ride, the EVO that you absolutely want. But you gotta do it one match at a time. You know, you can't be thinking about Tiger Pop just yet. You have to think about True Devin versus Jetstream, right? They have to think about each other, because we haven't yet seen this, but each player has had a chance to watch each other's matches at some point during this broadcast, if they so chose. So, you know, there could be some early attempts at some things to try and get around what each player might normally do. What we've noticed from Jetstream in particular, though, is that he's a late bloomer, if you will. He starts out the game trying to gather as much information as possible, and then when the set gets real close, that's when that information starts to come into play.
I 100% agree with you. I think that's a big analysis, what we've seen from Jetstream. Now there's True Devin, though, who's also been a really good on-the-fly adapter, right? Like, has been able to just be on top of adapting to the players' tendencies, conditioning. This was a great mix-up here, or cross-up rather, where now it's the command grab and Jetstream getting caught into it.
Ooh, yeah, that situation is not something you can backdash, as the 2S is actually going to be able to catch it, which is what Jetstream tried to do, unfortunately getting away. That's just a hard read right there from True Devin. Oh, but the overhead on top of that, too. And there's the wall splat. Jetstream fighting on the back foot from the jump, honestly.
Ooh, I like that purple RC to continue with the 2S. Now, of course, that is going to be burst, but at least with that, now Eddie comes back here, and this is a great catch on Jetstream, or rather on True Devin's end from Jetstream, where it's just been catching backdash after backdash and then converting off of it each time for some big damage.
Yeah, 100%. You know, I mean, just about every time that a backdash has been caught, it was either round ending or True Devin had the meter on Eddie to be able to convert off of it, right? So it wasn't just, oh, I just got a 2S and a drill. No, it was, I got a 2S, drill, there's a piercer, I took you all the way to the corner, and now you have to deal with my stuff.
Oh, I really like that 6P, I believe, because that allowed to get rid of Eddie. And now it's True Devin who's in the corner. And look at just the spacing here from Jetstream. And the conversion off of the 5P, and that was burst safe as well.
That wasn't just burst safe. He specifically knew that he was going to burst, because you don't do 2H into Fukio there expecting a full combo. The gravity is too much. So you would have to expect a burst to happen if you want to get more damage off of it. Otherwise, you would just do all the far slash hits. So Jetstream had a hard read on that one, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's the, again, level of caliber. This is what you're supposed to do at this stage of the tournament. With True Devin, though, able to wall break fully and actually able to get the bar of meter back for Eddie. Counter hit after counter hit, and very wise decision for Jetstream to hold on to the burst. Once again, we're going into this next round where it's full, has actual potential to be used in a better place here.
Yeah, most definitely. You definitely don't want to be hero bursting at this stage of the game. That burst is far too valuable to miss. But there it is, the dust right into 6H after the close slash. That's going to finish it off, yeah. I mean, normally Nago does a lot of damage. That's just like the normal thing. But it's also Nago just hitting Sato, so it's even worse.
That was actually a full-on Jetstream round. Like, wow. And, oh, the teleport. Actually able to call out the burst once again. That's like a 2 for 2 on just some really good reads here from Jetstream.
Yeah, now has to deal with the little eddy pressure, so it's gone. There is 50 meter too. You can just go for a Beyblade at any point, and it could just be completely, yeah, out of nowhere, and then you're slowed down. That's a straight punish because there was a double jump there. So you do have landing recovery if you do an action in the air, and Jetstream wisely capitalizing on that. Trying to use the fly swatter to be able to catch Sato too.
Indeed. I think there was also, hopefully, great backdash, actually, to avoid both the 2K and then of course the snakes at the end of it. Most people don't know that to actually backdash is sometimes some of that best chance, and with the blood burst actually pushing True Devin back to full screen. This is very much a pixel of health though for Jetstream that can lead into anything right now if not careful.
Oh,
Yep,
but yeah,
there it goes.
True Devin knew that like there's no health left, right? So you just take a gamble on a 5P, and if your media isn't real, then you win. So there it is, pushed all the way to the corner. The command grab is already active, and I mean, what's the golden rule? Is if you let him get a command grab so early, there is a good chance he might just take the whole game from that alone. Oh, a lot of the P's.
Ooh,
yeah, has to
I
cancel
like
directly
that
into
2P.
super.
That was a great way to connect super. You're going to be able to wall break with this. That's also really good damage too. So again, few interactions that you have to worry about. We do have to keep in mind about the burst though. You don't want to give this full stick of butter. And yet both players still sticking with their bursts in the next round.
Yeah, completely out of nowhere on that dust. You know, before I was talking about being overzealous on the dust, but it seems like Jetstream has gotten the spacing a lot better. Another command grab. The pressure is on now. And there it is. All of the specials are being exuded, and another dust on this one. We're even getting the combo filler dust. We got the 2H just trying to finish it off. Wow. And there it is, 2-1 with a perfect.
That was like, I would say a back-to-back perfect in a sense, because of how fast those rounds felt, especially this game. And now, honestly, this is no surprise from Jetstream. We've seen this countless times in these last couple of games for Jetstream. That has just been like, once you let Jetstream play aggressively, it's his game. It's 100% his game.
Well, I mean, hey, look, that's, I guess True Devin recognized that and was like, let's never make it his game again, right? Like, we've got the positive bonus so we can continue the pressure as much as humanly possible. The command grab is going to connect, so this should be death pretty easy. All you got to do is RC. You can even super if you so choose. Don't need it, but you can. And that's a perfect right back. That has to be the morale boost True Devin needs. It's getting a perfect right back saying, hey, whoa, this isn't free.
Yeah, sometimes those are those motivating factors, and both players are playing really strongly in mental capacity as well, so definitely agree with you there. That is a burst though that I'm not too sure if I do agree with or was trying to call out something, and this is where Jetstream can easily now continue on with the Nagaruyuki pressure.
Yeah, I mean, basically at this point, True Devin wants to prolong this game as much as possible if they don't feel like they can win, because they want to be able to get as much burst meter back. Honestly, taking the gold burst could be really good, because if you lose this round, your opponent will also be without burst next round.
Yeah, there is that blue RC attempt to try to boost a little bit of that momentum moving forward from the super jump, but the double slash on True Devin actually is going to let Jetstream close it out. I think that wall bounce was on purpose.
No, I definitely think they attempted. Well, so like, if you think about it though, because True Devin had no health left. Any singular hit was going to kill. They would have just won the round off of it. I'm not 100% sure that you want a wall bounce there, because of you know, you let your opponent out and you give them a second chance.
That is true. That is fair. Definitely, it definitely relies on how you respond after the wall bounce as well. But there goes this dust here, the YRC preventing it from happening. True Devin, though, getting hit by this YRC, and it's gonna be very dicey right now. This is damage that you don't want to take.
It's gotten a lot of it going right now. True Devin, it's not a hard knockdown, luckily for True Devin, so it's going to be able to try to put that offensive pressure back in, and finds the YRC is Jetstream. Oh, caught the burst and everything! That's going to do it right there. Jetstream calling it all out. Almost every single burst that was around the mid-range ended up getting called out by Jetstream. There was a couple of bursts that totally worked out for True Devin, don't get me wrong, but the clutch ones that mattered were Jetstream's own.
Yeah, that's really what it comes down to. I think that was like a 3 for 3 of hard reads. The other burst that we saw earlier on, I would say is more of like, there was an attempt and it would have worked if Jetstream continued on. But these hard reads on the burst that we saw from the first game to, I would say, like the second to third, and then now this last one has been phenomenal. I love that 2K was able to give enough time to do the actual burst or actually block on the burst, and then that led to the win essentially.
No, 100% agree. I mean, Jetstream really wanted that run back, clearly really wanted that road to Evo care package, because that was the kind of play you exude if you're on it, and that felt like what Jetstream is on. So, you know, congrats again to True Devin for 3rd place, but it is time to move on. We finally have our grand final solidified, and it will be the run back of Jetstream versus Oni's own Tiger Pop, which honestly, I feel like if you know about EU, you probably looked at this bracket and you said this is kind of like the expected finals. Tiger Pop,
Yeah.
Jetstream, you know, maybe Armix in the mix and stuff like that. True Devin coming out and saying, there's also me, you know, and stuff like that. But this is kind of, these are two of the people that even North America know, right? And so you were talking about it earlier. We don't always tend to look at the EU side of things, and we even know about these two. So it ended up being one of those things that we're like, okay, these are people to look at for sure.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with you there. I definitely, looking into this bracket earlier with you before the show started, there was moments where I was like, yeah, I definitely expect Tiger Pop to be in like the top 3 spots for sure. With SYG's group, right? Their 2 members, Armin and of course Jetstream, they were really solid. I think the more wild cards were like True Devin, Pollux, Neos, players that are definitely still very much good, but they present that more of like, compared to the other calibers that were on this bracket, still putting up a very solid fight. Now, if you are just tuning in, this is sort of like a rematch, as earlier it was Tiger Pop who knocked Jetstream into losers from winners finals. So this is essentially going to be our grand finals. Now, Jetstream has to win 6 games, essentially, whereas Tiger Pop only has to win the 3, due to the way the bracket reset rules are set out for this.
Yeah. So if you are new to competitive fighting games, you know, brackets in general, or new to the PlayStation channels and whatnot, one of the things that we do in competitive fighting games is we run things on a double elimination bracket for most of our events. And a double elimination bracket means exactly what it says. You have 2 chances to be eliminated, right? 2 lives, essentially. And as a result, Tiger Pop has won every match that they've run into. And because of that, they still have their second chance. And so you do have to be able to take away that second chance. And that is the advantage of winning in the upper bracket finals and getting into grand finals on the upper side, is having 2 chances. So that is why Saki is saying that Jetstream has to win 6 different games just to be able to take the tournament from here. Just to be able to do it, we are going to be crowning not only a champion for Road to Evo, but also figuring out who is going to be going on that Road to Evo for absolutely free. Is it going to be Tiger Pop? Is it going to be Jetstream? This is game number 1.
Yeah, I agree with you there. We're going to let these intros rock. But this is probably going to be Jetstream's, I think, most challenging. I feel like with the way Jetstream survives these long matches, it's capable. It's definitely very much capable of being able to do so. Possible for Jetstream to do so.
Yeah, well, I mean, strong start right now has basically stopped Tiger Pop at most avenues, and as soon as I say that, Tiger Pop finally finding a way out. You know, Saki, you mentioned in a previous set with Tiger Pop, actually the previous set with Jetstream, that Tiger Pop just finds the ways out of the corner like no one else has always figured out a way to get away.
I feel like out of all of the times that I see Tiger Pop in the corner, has just been like the one to get out of it. And look, not just get out of it, capitalizing off of the fact that I got out of it. Now you're in my territory. You're here. I'm the one that's going to be applying the pressure and actually applying the tough time here. And look at this blue RC to really catch Jetstream off guard, where you would think, oh, you're in the corner, you're dead already. No, Tiger Pop got out of it and was able to win that round because of it.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's gonna be what Jetstream has to figure out, basically, is how do we continue to keep Tiger Pop in the corner at all times, right? If Because you can get him there. That's the easy part. It's keeping him there and stopping his movement, stopping whatever he wants to do. That's the hard part. You're seeing that right now. The 6H on the OTG to try and get extra, but finding a way out with the 2S. I don't know what it is. It could be a hard read on Jetstream's habits, but if that's the case, Tiger Pop is just getting out of the corner based off his buttons and understanding his opponent so well.
I think it's also too that like Jetstream has been a little bit more patterned or conditioned. We did see an attempt to try to keep Tiger Pop in the corner, and of course that was Jetstream's round. But I think what really comes down to it here is that Tiger Pop really changes the options on some of the both defensive and offensive, that if you're not aware and you're not staying on top of things, Jetstream's gonna have a tough time. We are gonna go into the Dew Ex Machina. While this is full screen, they're not, Jetstream's not going to be able to punish, so this is pretty much a free resource time for Tiger Pop, as you can see with now only 3 bullets.
Yeah, when you activate Deus Ex Machina, you do get all of your bullets back, every single one of them. So that's one of the reasons why Tiger Pop felt like doing it full screen was safe. Now going to be able to get the full conversion off of this thanks to the BRC, and that's going to be the first game. It may have been a lot closer than previous games, but it's still Tiger Pop's show at the moment.
Yep, I agree with you there. One thing I also wanted to mention too is the understanding of how to utilize some of these roaming cancels, including the blue roaming cancel. It's been, I think, a big part of why Tiger Pop gets out of this corner so well. And now Jetstream's the one that is going to have to try to keep Tiger Pop in this corner. There are some of these attempts as Tiger Pop tries to jump in place and starts up pressure. There goes the roll, and there you have it. Tiger Pop out of the corner and already starting up pressure, mixing Jetstream up with these cross-up attempts. And it's just a matter of like reloading the bullets. There goes the blue RC, opening up with the overhead, and there you have it. Tiger Pop able to clear out this round.
That's one of the hardest parts about dealing with Happy Chaos on pressure so much, is that not only is the blue RC available to slow you down, so you literally have to deal with the pressure, but also the gunshots, right? So every time he's got a bullet out and the reticule's on top of you, you can't easily press a button without being, you know, at the possible mercy of Happy Chaos. Now, I mean, finding a button is Jetstream Sam this time. The backdash BRC to be able to get away from the command throw, forcing the burst so that they keep pressure, but there it is, trying to find a way out of the corner again. Oh, caught it.
I like
yeah,
that there was there was that 2P attempt, and then instead Jetstream was able to actually capitalize it. That's something that has worked out, but notice that Tiger Pop has done it like only a few times, and those are like what we could probably say like Tiger Pop trying to get out frantically, and it's very few times that we actually see that.
Yeah, but finally the overhead coming out, yeah. And there's the BRC mix-up, so it's time. And you still have to deal with it. The dust may normally be unsafe, but with the BRC, the dust is no longer unsafe. Wanted to look for the burst on that mix-up there. No dice, though, and finds the way out of the corner again.
Really good throw tech there from Jetstream. Oh, finally using burst, but Jetstream was prepared for it. Tiger Pop waking up, grabbing. Not sure if that was intended. I think was probably expecting, if anything, a more like a close slash or a dash in, but instead Jetstream very much ready to punish for it, and now it's tied 1-1.
Yeah, I mean this set did go down to the wire into the upper bracket, so I mean I expect no less. Honestly, we're going to see quite a bit, but Tiger Pop not opting to burst on that one, whereas Jetstream did here. And it also was a huge whip, so you gotta watch out. Yeah, unfortunately, it's a wall slump time. So what's the next mix-up afterwards? You got plenty of bullets, you got plenty of focus, you've even got super focus if need be. Oh, the fake out! So normally you see BRC backdash with an overhead there, but went for the low. Jetstream was ready for the overhead, but definitely not the low on that one.
That 2S counter hit is always a great way to round start. And this is perfect for Tiger Pop, as now the grab comes into play. Jetstream still very much far away from getting burst back, gets caught in the backdash due to the slowdown of the blue RC. And curse is out, so that is a free curse for Tiger Pop, able to dish it out and start up pressure the actual 2D to mix it up. And that was a perfect for Tiger Pop. to be up 2-1 right now in this grand final set.
Yeah, in the very first game, every one of those BRC mix-ups was an overhead, right? It was the jump 2D, which is an overhead, and so Jetstream was probably thinking, okay, you've done overhead every time, I'm looking for the overhead, and then bam, that's when you finally bust out the low on that situation, and your opponent's completely not ready for it. You talked about that in a previous set, actually, where you wait to use these certain options, you wait to bust out the tech for the final set of rounds. And then, now you put yourself in such a strong position because you're so far ahead. You have games, you have rounds that you can lose because you did it.
This is full screen for Tigerpop. Can easily dash in, especially as the focus meter comes back into play. Double grab. Oh, I think Tigerpop will be able to block this. Yes, and punish as well.
Unfortunately. Oh, that was meant to be a super input, 100%. I've done that input before when I played Half and had that mess up, so I understand.
Hopefully this doesn't cost Tigerpop, because that is a low bit of health. But right now with Tigerpop 2 bars of meter, it's just a matter of trying to catch Jetstream off guard, and there you go with that throw.
Jetstream would have had to have been the best player alive to be able to get out of that situation with barely any health, barely any meter, and there was full focus, full bullets for Tigerpop.
There was like a full-on loads of resources there. Right now, though, Tigerpop on potential set point. That burst pushing Tigerpop into the full screen, and we're back in the corner. But once again, this is the master of getting out of that situation and using it to his advantage. And look at this, perfect for him.
Oh,
does wait up the
grab.
The purple RC. Let's see.
Yeah, I mean, the problem is you put them back full screen on the knockdown, right? You're at level 2 blood, you can't use too many specials. But, yeah, you're just trying to keep this corner going. You talked about this a number of times. How does Tiger find the way out? Tiger got the hit. It was OTG, though, so that keeps him alive. The burst is available. Could we see a burst? Oh, my God, just Beyblading for your life! Just hitting it as many times as humanly possible!
Listen, when it comes down to Jetstream, he will do what is necessary, okay? And sometimes those callouts will catch even the best players off guard. Now, though, Tigerpop, this is Tigerpop's corner. You're gonna get wall slump, then of course you have to do Ex Machina, so this is pretty much guaranteed. Look at all this damage as the wall gets broken, and now it's just those heavy bullets into Curse. And this can be checkmate situation right here for Tigerpop. Tries to bait out the burst. The gold burst, though, from trying to fault his defense. Tigerpop with their own gold burst, but it's not going to land. And Jetstream's going to be able to essentially reset here and keep the corner. But you have to be careful. You can't let Tigerpop get out of it.
Yeah, but that's the hard part, right? Once the gun comes out, how do you not let Happy Chaos get out? He just exudes it. There's the close slash. That's going to finish it off. And Tigerpop is going to Evo, off the road to Evo, care package.
Congratulations to Tigerpop. Really solidifying. I mean, honestly, if you've been grinding this past year the way, or rather, if you've seen the way that Tigerpop's been grinding this past year, this is, first, no surprise. This was a very intense match for both players. But to be able to finally kind of like reap the rewards and benefits is very nice to see Tigerpop now being able to go to Evo on the PlayStation name. So congratulations to Tigerpop, and of course GG's to Jetstream and many of the other players as well. This was a very intense bracket, I must say, Ebonic.
Oh my God, yeah, no, you definitely put it correctly. This bracket was just from the jump something that we were expecting to be very hard fought, something very hard to get through, and I mean, you can see that. It, like, as we got further and further, there were a lot more 3-2s, and there was nobody who wasn't fighting for their life at any point in time. It was, you had to bring everything, and I mean, you want to bring everything too when there is a chance for you to go to Evo on the PlayStation name.
Yep, absolutely. And to give a final look at this bracket, so we have Tigerpop in first place. We have Jetstream in second. True Devin in third. We have SYG Armix in fourth. And then, of course, we have Pollux and Addiction in fifth. And Neos and Amato in eighth. or 7th rather. And with that being said, even though everybody does get to go home with a little bit of cash, it does mean that Tiger Pop will be heading again to EVO. And once again, thank you to PlayStation Tournaments and their FGC Arcade Road to EVO series for really creating opportunities for players. It's very tough out right now to be securing some of those sponsorships and some of those opportunities that many competitive players, when they want to take their next game to the next level, really try hard to get, and it's just very difficult to do so. So opportunities like these, they tend to be once in a lifetime, and they really, really help support not only the players, but the community in of itself.
And you don't want to miss any of those once in a lifetime opportunities either, because you can go to compete.playstation.com to jump into any of them for yourself. You know, we did just see Guilty Gear Strive for the EU. NA will be later on today, so we'll crown another person going to EVO on the PlayStation name for North America. But there are other games that hasn't been solidified for yet that you can jump into. Compete.playstation.com. And hey, even if you're unable to make it for any of the Road to EVO ones, there's always going to be more FGC arcade action for you to be able to jump into at compete.playstation.com. Don't miss it.
Absolutely. And of course, if you want to keep up to date with all the events, all the cool articles, all the cool content, let's check out that Discord. You can join the PlayStation's tournament community Discord to find regular updates on everything esports, including events, articles, videos, and you even get to meet potential trading partners. You can go ahead and type in that link below or click on the link in the chat, or you can use your phone and scan that QR button today.
Yes, and I mean, you guys have been watching Road to EVO, but we have more Road to EVO going on. You guys have seen so far the Guilty Gear Strive. We're going to be doing NA later, but Road to EVO has encompassed multiple games with Dragon Ball FighterZ, The King of Fighters 15, Melty Blood Type Lumina, Mortal Kombat 11 Ultimate, and Tekken 7, as well as what you're watching right now, and what I'm sure you'll be watching a little bit later in Guilty Gear Strive.
Absolutely. And of course, it was a pleasure to be here with you, Ebonic, as well, with all of these just amazing matches. It's a pleasure to actually finally get to commentate with you as well. We were actually on the EVO Lounge together. That was like the first time we actually got to like interact on camera, and now to be able to really clean out an EVO bracket together is pretty awesome. So thank you so much for joining with me.
No, I'm super happy to do it as well. You know, I think you bring a lot of greatness to the broadcast as always, and I was just looking forward to it as soon as I saw the names on the call sheet when we finally figured out what was going on.
Absolutely. With that being said, thank you so much for everyone tuning in to the EU side of the action for the FGC Arcade Road to EVO. Later on tonight, it will be NA, so definitely be sure to tune back in later on today. And with that, we will see you all in the next one. Bye-bye!
PlayStation.
You thought this through. I don't have to think about it. Counting those who believe. What about you? When I'm older, do I do anything? I want to keep it that way. Now it's your turn. Could get your turn. I'm ready for this. The kiss of death.